This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
Why don't you leave her alone, Jimmy?
Oh, you zip it, Doris. Rogers Hornsby was my manager, and he called me a talking pile of pig shit. And that was when my parents drove all the way down from Michigan to see me play the game. And did I cry?
No.
No! No! And you know why?
No.
Because there's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in baseball! No crying!
What's the matter, Jimmy?
What? She's crying, sir.
I didn't mean to do that.
Perhaps you chastised her too vehemently. Good rule of thumb. Treat each of these girls as you would treat your mother.
Anyone ever tell you look like a penis with a little hat on?
You're out of here!
Oh, no,
right
no,
now,
no,
Jimmy,
you,
I heard
you
that!
misunderstood.
You misunderstood me!
No, I
You
didn't.
can't throw me out for that!
Second,
No, when
Jimmy.
you got a strike
Right
zone,
now.
the best
Off
zone,
this
and
field.
that was
Jimmy,
the
that's
jumper.
enough.
Get
Get off this field.
I can't believe no one ever told you that before!
That's who you be.
That's right, Jimmy Dugan. There is no crying in baseball. But there's many of us around the world that are kind of missing out on our baseball. This episode of the Back to the Past podcast is going to be about baseball. It's going to be about baseball movies, some small talk on baseball TV shows, video games, and our own personal favorite things that we love most about baseball, or maybe even the least about baseball. This is Kevin, and I'm joined by
Brad Whiteside.
and
Justin Detchen.
And we are doing our part as we deal with COVID-19, aka coronavirus, as we are socially distancing ourselves into our own separate individual homes. But thankfully, with modern technology and having a long background in podcasting, we had the tools to where we could bring, hopefully, a decent sounding episode to your listeners' ears. So, thank you guys for listening, and you guys, thanks for joining me on this wonderful afternoon or evening.
Yeah, I mean, provided the internet holds up, we'll be fine.
Yeah. We are actually using Facebook Messenger as the, I guess you would just say the audio connectivity portion of this, just because even though few of us work at Microsoft, we could be using Microsoft Teams, which is a great program to be using on your your time home or remote work, but can be a little bit of a system resource hog, so we didn't want to be killing our batteries if that were a thing.
Now, Kevin, we want to keep work and play separate.
I know, that's why we're moving on from that talk. So we had a few different things kind of lined up that we thought we would talk about, including some future episodes, because originally when we scheduled our record date, we were going to record a couple episodes at the same time. But as more and more people thought, it's probably best to not get you guys all together, and are you crazy for still thinking about getting together to record? We thought a little bit better and thought we'd be a little more socially responsible.
Yep.
For once.
Yeah, for once. Doesn't always work out so well.
Yeah,
But
no.
So we're just going to record this one episode about baseball. And now, for you guys, personally speaking, baseball is my favorite sport. I've loved it since I was a kid. It was really the only sport that I played regularly other than going bowling when I was younger. I don't know, what about you guys with baseball?
Abso-freaking-lutely. I love watching it. I love actually going to the game. I mean, I don't know all the players and a lot of the really one-off rules, but growing up as a kid, I played it. It's the only sport I enjoyed playing every year. I mean, between movies and memorabilia, I don't know. Baseball to me really is the great American sport, and I just kind of prefer it over all of them.
Oh yeah, I can't talk enough about. Baseball is like in Bull Durham, how they make it up to be like this deity religion almost of in the Church of Baseball. Like that's kind of where I'm at. I growing up with it. It's like a universal language. Like you can always, almost always, especially in this city, you can all talk to just about anybody about baseball, and even if nobody really is following the home team, they kind of know a little bit about what's going on at least. But yeah, I mean everything from collecting cards to playing fantasy baseball to going to games to, if I can, going to see like minor league teams or independent league teams. I just love the sport.
Right. Especially here in St. Louis. I mean, we did, as of at least the last year or two, we had up to two independent league baseball franchises, Gateway Grizzlies and the River City Rascals, I believe it was.
Yep. And I've been to both of them, and the Rascals had a really nice place, but I guess we'll see how that goes for right now. But yeah, I've been to see our AAA team. I went to see our AA team. We got rained out on that one, but I even went to a few years ago. I went to Gatlinburg and actually got to see the AA team for the Cubs because they're just north of Gatlinburg. I actually went to one of their games. Just being in St. Louis, obviously we're not Cub fans here, but that's how much I love the sport. I will go watch a farm team for our bitterest rival just because it's there.
Right. It's a sport. It's baseball. I still want to
Yeah.
go for the experience.
Well,
I mean, I
would
have my preferred team, but like I just love watching it no matter who's playing.
I would argue that two of the greatest things to come out of St. Louis is easily beer and baseball, and I mean they go pretty well together. In fact, right now, local brewery Urban Chestnut is doing a canning series for Stan the Man, number six and Cardinals player that is pretty famous here in St. Louis. So I thought that was pretty cool that they're doing that for his, I believe, 100th birthday.
Yeah, Stan Musial passed away a few years ago, and yeah, he was probably the best known Cardinal in the franchise's history, just because he was probably the best player in the franchise, next to Bob Gibson. So I guess you would say position player, he's definitely the best.
And he was definitely, as far as retired players go, like he was always like, I don't want to say like the face of the retired players, but he was always the one that the other Hall of Famers later on, like they all looked up to him as a legend. So I mean, if like you got legends looking up to him, so that he is the man.
Right.
Yeah, he's kind of like our very small, personable Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I still swear, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best that's ever played the game, regardless of team. But I still say that he's somewhat been overshadowed by the country as a whole. In like everyone talks about a lot of the Yankees players, obviously, and some of the Dodger players, and more East Coast, West Coast type things. And he kind of gets kind of lost in some of the shuffle. But I mean, he's right up there with all the greats of the past.
Definitely. Yeah, I would say he probably gets overshadowed because he was a just generally nice guy. There was no scandal ever associated with him or his life. You just never heard really of anything bad.
Right. I mean, I go ahead.
He was not going to be the guy like Babe Ruth where he's going out, getting hammered and then coming to the ball game the next morning, hungover and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'd read stories about he had a good rapport with reporters, so whenever it was time for after the games and they'd want to do interviews, take pictures or whatever, I don't know if this is true, but I've heard this from several people. They said that what he would do is he would have a beer and he'd have a cigar after the game was over, and he would say, guys, just give me a little bit to finish my little wind down routine here, and then I'll talk to you for as long as you want. But I don't want to encourage young people to smoke or drink. So, just give me a minute here. And I thought, I mean, that's a different world.
Yeah, it is. Definitely a much different world. But enough about Stan the Man right now. There's a few definitely great movies out there, and just kind of looking at things that we kind of each put in here. One movie that definitely sticks out to all of us is Major League, which came out in, what was it, 1989, I believe it is.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, the first one with Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes and Tom Berenger and just so many. It was such a good cast.
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite baseball movie. I without even thinking like that I grew up watching it because my parents loved it. So anytime it was on TV, we'd watch it, and got older and transitioned into DVDs. It was probably one of the first 10 DVDs I got. I still have it, and I still watch it fairly often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got Bob Uecker, who actually played for the St. Louis Cardinals briefly as a very light-hitting catcher way back when, and who then became a pretty much legendary broadcaster for the Milwaukee Brewers franchise.
And he's still doing it.
Yep. He was also on TV shows like Mr. Belvedere as one of the main stars. So he's had a nice little career. And his role as Harry Doyle, the broadcaster for the Cleveland Indians in Major League, is pretty much a legendary kind of role. He just plays it perfect.
I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure I saw some making of thing about it, and they said that basically the role was written for him. So if he turned it down for some reason, they would have been totally screwed. But also they kind of loosely put in the dialogue, but I believe he mostly improvised a lot of it.
Yeah, I can see him doing that.
Yeah, not a surprise.
I mean, it is weird seeing, is it Allstate or State Farm? I think it's Allstate, that now you've got Dennis Haysbert, who played Pedro Serrano in the franchise, is, now he's in so many other different things. You look back and you go, oh yeah, that's Serrano.
Oh yeah, I remember the first time I made the connection whenever I was watching 24 and he was President Palmer for a couple seasons.
Right.
I'm just thinking, boy, it's just weird to see him not in an Indians uniform and without that accent and without doing the voodoo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he's had a nice little career. Yeah, definitely 24 and, his commercial, but he's done so many other little things too. But just seeing him be one of the few that have made it through the entire Major League franchise.
Yeah, there's not many.
No, for better or for worse. I would probably say it's one of Charlie Sheen's best roles.
Yeah, and oddly enough, the one that, looking back, who knew? I don't know how much acting he really had to do for that role.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely a different kind of individual, for sure. I think one of the other actors that in the role that stands out to me is manager Lou Brown, played by James Gammon. A very gruff speaking person, just because he has that very kind of gravelly, raspy voice. But
he's also got that kind of laid back, like takes everything in stride, doesn't get worked up over a whole lot of things.
Yeah, he does a good job in his role. Corbin Burnson as Roger Dorn, kind of the rich, spoiled guy near the end of his career, doesn't want to sacrifice his body for the well-being of the team. He's just worried only about himself.
I gotta say, the funniest scene with him is that where and this always gets edited out of TV versions too, where he's talking about whenever he doesn't make the play and put his body in front of the play like he should do like push-ups or sit-ups or whatever.
Hmm.
And he it goes and finds his contract and he's like, well, no, like it says right here, I don't have to do any calisthenics that I don't deem as necessary. What do you think about that? And Lou just throws it on the ground and pees on it.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely one of the more funnier scenes in that film.
I mean, it
Yeah.
gets me every time, and I know it's coming.
Hmm.
Just based off of that scene alone, there's a lot of things that they do in that movie that definitely couldn't get made today. But yeah, for better or for worse, it was the 80s. Different time.
Definitely. Tom Berenger playing Jake Taylor, one of the main, I guess, stars on the team, an aging catcher. It's like every baseball movie ends up revolving around an aging catcher. And I don't know if that's just because catchers are kind of the backbone of the team. They are the field general. They're kind of like an extra manager on the field. But Berenger is, he's down on his luck. He's kind of been out of baseball. He's playing down, I think, like the Mexican League or something when the movie starts.
And he thinks people are pranking him about making the call for the Yankees. And he's like, well, you might as well just could have said it's from the Yankees instead of the Indians.
Right.
And there's
Yeah.
like chickens in his room. And
Yeah. Yeah, so he's got this kind of love relationship with Rene Russo, who plays his, I guess, were they married and then got divorced, or were they just like on again, off again? I can't remember.
I think they were just like, I don't think they were married. I think they were just together, and then things fall apart and they kind of grew apart. But
Which, as we had recently watched that movie, you'd made the comment that that particular little love interest thing is pretty forced in and feels kind of gross.
Yeah.
And it's probably the weakest part of the movie. Everything else is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure there's a super cut you could do to make the love thing work. But whatever they had decided to release in the theatrical version,
yeah, I don't. It's a very 80s thing I've noticed in a lot of comedies where they just, I mean, they do it outside the 80s too, but some of the 80s best, funniest movies, they have to force in this love thing. I mean, Bull Durham did the exact same thing where it's everything that's on the field or about the players that's baseball specific. I mean, it's fantastic, but you got this forced romance that just kind of slows the movie down. And can I just skip this scene?
Right. Yeah. So she's kind of wanting to move on and with this more secure guy who I believe is an attorney or something like that. And, Jake thinks he can still win her back. And
stock market attorney, it could be just about anything white collar like that in the 80s.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was just kind of a forced storyline within the movie.
I will say the one part of the romance subplot that I do kind of am amused by is the fact that, 'cause she's a librarian and he's not very well read, so he starts reading like these classical works of literature like Moby Dick and Crime and Punishment and things like that. But he's reading like children's comics versions of them. And then
Right.
those kind of start circulating through the team, so they start reading like that. I find kind of amusing.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Let's see. Then we've got Wesley Snipes. He's coming around. This is, I guess, probably around the time that White Men Can't Jump, and I think this is before Blade, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Blade was like 98, I want to say.
Okay, so well before that.
And
Yeah,
my
and
goodness, is he short.
Yeah, he is compared to everybody else. You're like, holy cow.
He's the little guy in that. Like when you watch Blade and he's like this big buff guy, and then you see him in this, that's the same guy.
Yeah, let's see. He was in All My Children TV series, soap opera. He was in Miami Vice. He was in Michael Jackson's Bad video short as Minimax. Looks like Major League was his first big film role.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised.
Yeah, and comes in there. He's a really fast guy. He's a very prima donna player. He's kind of like the Deion Sanders of the team.
Yeah, he definitely had a bit of a. What was interesting about his character was, on one hand, he's very like, kind of like, I can do all these things, just watch me. And then on the other hand, he's very willing to, hey, whatever you want, I will do it.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the circumstance is.
Right. Yeah, I know old Lou Brown wants to make him, every time he hits a fly ball or he doesn't hit it on the ground, he needs to give him push-ups. And after he hits a pop-up in an actual game, he just drops right there and starts doing push-ups, and the catcher looks at him like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Oh, yeah.
I mean, my favorite part of the movie is the whole spring training sequence.
Oh, gosh.
Everything about that part, it's just so great.
Yeah, the players are arriving. Oh, gosh.
I mean, or where he slides into the base and he's like 2 feet short, and the second baseman's like, come on, come on. And he flips him off.
Yeah. Well, also, too, they end up, he's not supposed to actually be there. So security takes him out in the middle of the night while he's sleeping, puts his bed outside, and he wakes up and they're already practicing. So he ends up
I've been cut already?
Yeah. So he ends up making the team just because he wakes up, sees that they're doing, sprint tests, time trials or whatever, and he just outruns everybody with some super fast time, and it's what helps get him on the team.
Sometimes it's all it takes.
Yeah. The interaction, too, between Eddie Harris, played by Chelsea Ross, kind of the old super veteran pitcher. Definitely not into the voodoo, and kind of supposed to be a religious guy, but he ends up reading Hustler magazines and stuff on the plane. And
¿Qué pasa there, Pedro?
Bats. They are sick. I cannot hit curveball. Straight ball, I hit it very much. Curveball, bats are afraid. I asked Joe Boo to come. Take fear from bats. I offered him cigar and rum. He will come.
You might think about taking Jesus Christ as your savior instead of fooling around with all this stuff.
Shit, Harris.
Jesus. I like him very much. But he no help with curveball.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
Okay, Harris, let's not start a holy war here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's even the scene where he's trying to lead the team in a prayer, and Serrano makes that explosion, and then he starts cursing by saying the Lord's name in vain, and that also always gets me too.
Yep. Hey, Lou. Aren't we going to have a prayer? I mean, we're not all savages like Serrano over there.
Chingate, cabrón.
You guys go ahead.
Oh, well, okay. Let's all bow our heads.
Excuse me, I'll be in my office.
Dear Heavenly Father, we humbly pray that you will guide... Jesus Christ, Serrano.
Have to wake up bats.
Okay, shit. Can we try this again? Dear God, we humbly pray that you will guide and protect us as we gird up our loins to take the field of battle. Lead us on into victory in the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then he pisses on Joe Boo after he
he takes the rum and oh god. I will say that is one quote that I say all the time still. In fact, I've said it over at Brad's many times. Where, Joe Boo needs a refill.
Yeah.
And it's, I need another beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's really a great movie. If for some reason somebody's got any interest in baseball, if you have not watched it, man, definitely do so.
Yeah, and that's another one that's just like a fun comedy where it's like some of these, like your like Field of Dreams or even Bull Durham, or some of those are more about like let's worship at the altar of baseball kind of things. This one definitely doesn't do that.
No.
It's just a regular underdog tale that is really funny.
Which I would say is a reoccurring theme amongst a lot of baseball. Anything. Everyone always likes rooting for the underdog. I don't know if that's a sports thing in general, but I do feel like that's a core of baseball. I mean, this is a prime example, being one of your more liked movies, Justin. It
Oh yeah.
definitely shows its colors there. I mean, and even in some of the other ones we'll talk about as well.
Yeah. Because then you look at Major League 2, and it's like every character is so much different. Ricky Vaughn, played by Charlie Sheen, is now more focused on his image and trying to be a straight-laced guy. He's worried about, contracts and stuff. He doesn't want to be Wild Thing, and he can't throw as hard.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Major League 2 is one of my least favorite
Yeah.
sequels, but it still has some great moments.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing that I find kind of disappointing is now he's the main focus of the story, whereas in the first one it's Tom Berenger's character, but in this one it's Charlie Sheen's character, and I don't know, I don't find the tamed down Ricky Vaughn very interesting.
No. Tom Berenger as Jake Taylor has a very, very much reduced role. Pedro Serrano's kind of a peace, love, and happiness. He's not the badass.
He's like a Buddhist now.
Yeah, he's not the badass that he used to be in the first one.
And I have to admit, there are some funny scenes with him where everyone's kind of afraid, like, oh no, he's gonna get angry, and he's just like, he just smiles and hugs people.
Right. Was it? So the character's name is Isuro Tanaka, who gets brought in kind of in the middle of the movie and pretty much calls Serrano out. He's talking about, you have no balls and stuff like that. That was pretty funny. Just seeing him kind of like pretending that he's carrying these big old balls. And yeah, Jobu just kind of, or Serrano just kind of like laughs him off. Haha, you funny.
Yeah. And I gotta admit, I mean, this, I guess, was about 5 years after the first one. And by then you definitely see more of like the Japanese influence in baseball than you had in the 80s.
Right.
And I mean, outside of, I guess, Mr. Baseball, I can't really think of a whole lot of movies where they really showcase the Japanese influence like they did in here.
Well, Bad News Bears 3.
Oh, yeah.
The third one.
They went to Japan.
Yeah, they go to Japan, but...
That's right.
But, I mean, that was still kind of a forgettable version of the movie, or the franchise as well with that.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, you start seeing that, because I think... Oh, gosh, what was it? Hideo Nomo from Los Angeles Dodgers. I think he was probably in the majors around this time.
There were like a couple, and I think that was kind of like the time where, like, baseball was super popular in Japan by then anyways.
Oh,
but
it had been for decades.
Yeah, it just we hadn't seen anyone like the caliber of like superstar like your Ichiro.
Oh, no.
Quite yet.
Yeah, and then we got James Gammon comes back as Lou Brown in a, again, very reduced role. He starts off as the manager. He ends up having a, heart attack when, what was her name again? When she comes back and takes over the team.
Rachel Phelps.
Yeah, Rachel Phelps. She gets the team back from Corbin Burnson's character, Roger Dorn. And, yeah, that's when things start going south with that. So he's in the hospital the rest of the movie for the most part.
He does have one of my favorite lines in that particular movie where he's listening to the series at the end and he's all excited, jumping up on
in the bed.
in the bed. He's got the transistor radio playing, and he's watching like these really soft British things, and they're like, what is going on? And he's, I love this British shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Willie Mays Hayes is now played by Omar Epps.
Which, I don't know. I'm always kind of annoyed. I know why they usually do it, but I'm always annoyed whenever important roles get recast.
Because of money, pretty much.
It's always because of money
Yeah.
or scheduling. I know occasionally it's scheduling, but it's always money.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I really don't like when that happens, but, in the movie industry, what can you do,
Right.
Yeah, it's just, Omar Epps is a good actor. For this role, I always thought Wesley Snipes was a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, it just wasn't the same. Now Willie Mays Hayes thinks he's a power hitter. And
a movie star.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was in the film with Jesse Ventura or whatever. Was it Black and White or something like that? Just some stupid action film.
Black Hammer, White Lightning, I believe.
Yeah. Where he injured his knee or something doing his own stunts, and now he's not as fast as he was, so he wants to be a power hitter.
Which leads to that confrontation where they have the fight in the dugout.
Yep.
Which is Bob Uecker passes out in the booth, and then he gets shaken awake, and look, he's like, oh my God, the first signs of life all season.
Right. Yeah, that was pretty good. And I did like the character Rube Baker, played by Eric Bruscotter.
Oh yeah, I always forget he's in that.
Yeah, where he's the young catcher that the team wants Jake to cure of his problem, where he can't throw the ball back to the pitcher. The
first time I remember seeing him was in a show called Tour of Duty, which is, I think it ran 3 seasons, but it's a late 80s, early 90s Vietnam kind of a drama series. And oddly enough, there's some recognizable names that pop up on that, which we'll talk about in another episode. Spoilers.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, he's great in that.
Yeah, he does good as his role as Rube, and he also then reprises that role in Major League 3, Back to the Minors, which it was decent in that movie, I guess.
Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah, it's there.
There are some decent moments in it, but as a whole, it's just not great.
Yeah.
And then I guess we also have to mention David Keith playing as Jack Parkman. Which that's probably my favorite line in the second movie, where it's kind of a subtle joke where you see him early whenever he's playing for the Indians, and he does his little shimmy at the plate, and Bob Uecker says that, yeah, he does this shimmy, it drives all the women here crazy. And then later in the movie, after he's traded to Chicago, they're playing them in the playoffs, so that he does it again. He says, yep, there's Parkman doing his little shimmy, makes all the women here puke.
Yeah. David Keith did pretty good as in that role. We'll say I did like him.
And I was shocked that I didn't know this for the longest time. I guess so. There was the blonde that played as Charlie Sheen's girlfriend / publicist manager person.
Yeah, Allison Doody.
Yeah, and she was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade as Elsa. Even though I've seen both movies probably 100 times, I didn't know that till a few weeks ago.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not like she's had some magnificent career. She's in The Rapture, playing Professor Allison Hayes, which is apparently still filming.
She was in a Bond movie, View to a Kill, one of the worst ones, I might add.
Oh, uh-oh. Yeah, gosh, that was back in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely easy on the eyes, that's for sure. But obviously, that's why they had her in here as the role to be, I guess you would say, Charlie Sheen's character's agent.
Yeah,
Or
and then
publicist.
became more than friends, I guess.
Yeah. But then also, Rick Vaughn had this thing going with some character named Nikki Reese, who kind of worked with underprivileged youths, and I guess pissed her off somewhere along the way when he changed.
Mm-hmm.
They end up rekindling their relationship, so like that becomes the sappy love story
Right.
of this movie.
And it honestly doesn't help that this movie's PG, where the first one was R, so they could get away with more things than the first one.
Yeah.
It always felt a little watered down for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I mean, that's what happened with the Police Academy movies too, because the first one starts R and then it goes right to PG, and that just stays in PG territory.
Yeah, and you can't do that with, especially the Police Academy franchise. You just neutered it.
Oh yeah, and then once you go PG, you can't go back to R.
No.
Yeah, they got to broaden that audience so they can make more money.
So
right.
they think.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't quite work that way. So we'll move on from 2. We've kind of touched on 3. It's back to the minors, or now most of the people are in the minor leagues. There's no Ricky Vaughn. There's no Lou Brown. Bob Uecker's still there. You got Scott Bakula, best known from Quantum Leap, I believe.
And Enterprise.
Yeah. And then you've got Ted McGinley, who pretty much when he shows up, everything is shit. So.
Oh yeah, I always liked Ted McGinley because he always plays the same character. I mean, Married with Children. Need I say more?
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, with him, he has probably my favorite part of that movie is where he's so mad he throws a baseball in the dugout and it bounces off the wall and hits him in the head and knocks him out.
Yep.
So he spends the rest of the game like with an ice patch on his head.
Yep.
I feel like I've seen that scenario play out in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's got a pretty good cast. I mean, again, Scott Bakula, not bad. Corbin Burnson is back as Roger Dorn. Dennis Haysbert is back as Serrano. The Asian guy is now going by the name Taka Tanaka. So his name, I think, has changed from the second one.
And I think he's like running a mini golf course and he dresses up as a pirate.
Yeah, he does something weird. Again, the character Root Baker's back. The person that's got the interesting name is played by Walter Goggins. Billy Downtown Anderson, the young phenom.
Yeah, Walter Goggins has been a ton of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And he's a good actor. He does really good stuff.
Oh yeah, he's like one of those guys that you see in a whole bunch of things, and you're like, oh, it's that guy.
Yep. Euchre's back, but yeah. Otherwise, it's an overall pretty forgettable movie.
Yeah, it could be worse, but it's one of those that once you watch it, it's like, what did I watch?
Yeah. Yeah, and it came out 9 years after the original Major League, so here we are, 1998.
Mm-hmm. They're doing like 4 or 5 years in between, and that's never a good sign when there's that much space between.
No, I would definitely say that was probably one of the biggest downfalls of it. Just, man, you can't spend that much time in between, maybe every 2 years.
Yeah, I mean 3 max.
Yeah. But not my decision. I'm not the one that got to make those decisions.
Right.
People that get paid a lot more than I do make those decisions.
Yep, and they're the ones on the line when they don't work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll gladly give up that.
Yeah. I guess we can just go ahead and move into Bull Durham, which came out in 1988. Again, this is going to be one of the first of Kevin Costner's like baseball movies. He's been in a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so you got Kevin Costner, Susan Sarandon, you've got Tim Robbins, Robert Wool. And I love Robert Wool. Just, he plays Larry. He's like the assistant bench coach for the Durham Bulls, and he was also played Al Stump in the movie with Tommy Lee Jones about Ty Cobb called Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
But he's such a fast talking, wisecracking coach. It's pretty funny.
And that's why, I mean, I haven't watched a whole lot of it, but back in the late 90s when he was in Arliss, perfect for that role.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keeping with that sports theme.
Yeah, so you got, again, Kevin Costner is he's the player to be named later catcher that comes into the Durham Bulls to essentially help get Tim Robbins' character, Ebby Calvin LaLouche, which is the weirdest last name I can think of in a movie that would be something that they would say on a frequent basis. LaLouche.
I always assumed it was like a Cajun thing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I love his nickname, Nuke.
Yeah. Yeah, they come up with a nickname, and it takes a while for them to come up with a nickname. But Susan Sarandon's character, Annie Savoy, Savoy, she's kind of like the area sex pot that she scouts a player to take under her wing, and she has a relationship with him over the season and helps prepare them to move up in their baseball career, because she's like a baseball savant, you could say.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely what I mentioned earlier about like some of the movies like idolizing baseball as borderline religion, like this movie's all about it, and she references that in her voiceovers a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what was it? After, yeah, so I guess her and Tim Robbins, they met on this film, and then they ended up getting married.
Right.
And had a couple kids, I believe.
I believe so.
Or maybe, no, it looks like they just lived together. I don't think they officially got married.
Well, I mean, I knew they were together for a long time after that.
Yeah, apparently about 11 years. Huh. Okay.
Which in Hollywood terms, that's like a century.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
No, I thought they had actually got married, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I do like this movie. I really do like this movie, but again, it's the whole like kind of forced relationship thing, which makes more sense in this for what she does. But there are a couple scenes in this movie that are just absolute classic baseball moments, like specifically the meeting on the mound scene.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're all like, it just starts out with the pitcher catcher having like this little conversation, then slowly the entire infield comes in, and suddenly they're having this conversation about what to get for wedding presents, and if your chi is all messed up, and if you're breathing out your eyelids and whatever.
Right.
And Robert Wool comes out like, what is going on, guys? We got a lot of problems here, and we got to deal with this. So he just spouts off the answers real quick, and
yeah,
all right, we'll finish the rest of this later.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I actually watched something on YouTube, a little clip of that earlier today, where he explained that was a completely improvised scene and how that scene almost didn't get into the movie, but during all the focus groups, that was either the top or the second highest scene that audiences liked. So they ended up being forced to keep it in there.
It is great. I mean, it's on one hand, it's one of those scenes that doesn't advance the plot really at all. It's just a great scene that's for what it is. But I've seen interviews with players where they're asked about that scene, and they're like, honestly, sometimes things like that kind of do happen on the mound, where it's like you just got some issue going on, and you just end up kind of talking about it on the field a little bit. He said, no, it's not to that degree, but they all think it's great because they're like, yeah, we can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, every meeting that you see on the mound is not always about what the situation at hand is. It's just to try to get the pitcher to kind of like think about something else. Just get your mind focused somewhere else and don't think about this as much. Just kind of like ease the tension a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes it's almost like you almost have to just trust the catcher, and this movie's definitely all about that, where it's like the catcher pretty well is the general of the field. Do what the catcher says, and if you don't do what the catcher says, like Kevin Costner does, he might tell the batter what's coming and let him hit it out.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like right here I'm going to play a couple of those two scenes that we're kind of referencing right now. So just briefly have a little listen at this real quick.
Hello.
Up to the plate, Junior Shockley.
What's wrong?
I'm a little nervous. My old man's here.
Your dad's here? Where's he at?
He's right behind home plate. Don't look. Don't look.
Look, he's waving. Hey, he's just your old man. He's as full of shit as anybody.
Hey, what's going on? Breathing through the wrong fucking eyelid again? No. Shut up.
Hey, did you guys hear about Jimmy and Millie?
Yeah.
They got engaged. Can you believe that?
Oh, yeah? Well, wait till I tell him she's gone down on half the Carolina League.
Hey, anybody says anything bad about Millie, I break his neck.
Excuse me, guys. I got a game to pitch here.
Mira, una brujería, yo no sé. Hey, you guys, don't throw me anything. My girlfriend put a curse on my glove.
I'll take the X off the fucking glove. Give me the glove.
Well, then you gotta cut the head off a live rooster.
What the hell's going on out there?
Looks like a convention. Pretty soon they're gonna call the roll.
Get your ass out there and check it out.
But
Excuse me, what the hell's going on out here?
Well, Nook's scared because his eyelids are jammed and his old man's here. We need a was it a live rooster? We need a live rooster to take the curse off Jose's glove, and nobody seems to know what to get Millie or Jimmy for their wedding present. Is that about right?
that's right.
We're dealing with a lot of shit.
Okay, well, candlesticks always make a nice gift, and maybe we can find out where she's registered, maybe a place setting or maybe a silverware pattern. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go.
Top of the ninth, 2 out. 1 out away from a stunning 2-hit shutout for Lelouch.
Spread out, meat. Don't let up. You own these guys. Dad would love a shutout. Oh, no. No. He's looking for heat. Let me give him the deuce.
Oh, no, he's shaking off the signs. Big mistake.
This son of a bitch is throwing a 2-hit shutout. He's shaking me off. You believe that shit? Charlie, here comes the deuce. And when you speak of me, speak well. No, serve it up.
Home run, Jimmy Powell.
Good ball.
You told him I was going to throw a deuce, right?
Yep. Man, that ball got out of here in a hurry. You know, anything travels that far, ought to have a damn stewardess on it, don't you think?
Let's go. Go. All right, nobody's gone out there.
Why is he calling for a curveball? I want to bring heat. Shake him off. Throw what you want.
God damn it. Time out. Hey! Why are you shaking me off? Huh?
I want to bring the heater to announce my presence with authority.
To announce your what?
Announce my presence with authority.
To announce your fucking presence with authority? This guy's a first ball, fastball hitter. He's looking for heat.
Oh, yeah? So what? He ain't seen my heat.
All right, mate. Give him your heat.
Why is he always calling me me? I'm the guy driving a Porsche.
Fastball. Come on, Duke. Slow down, boy. Slow down. Take your time.
Home run for Bert Brooks of the Fayetteville Generals.
What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing standing here? I give you a gift. You stand here, show up my pitcher. Run, dummy!
Give me the ball.
Well, he really hit the shit out of that one, didn't he?
Held it like an egg.
Yeah, and he scrambled the son of a bitch. Look at that. He hit the fucking bull. Guy gets a free steak. You having fun yet?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a blast. Thanks.
Good.
God, the sucker teed off in that like he knew I was going to throw a fastball.
He did know.
How?
I told him.
All right, one down now. One down.
Come on, Duke, you're the man. Nobody. Chuck Arky. You got anything?
Don't think, just throw. Don't think, just throw.
And now, as you see with those scenes, I mean, they're just perfect. It's just the greatest little thing, you know, talking about, man, it's almost like he knew that pitch was coming. He did. He did.
Well,
No.
how did he know that? Well, I told him.
Yeah. Now, don't ever shake me off again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just good stuff. Now, my favorite scene is when the manager asks Crash, he's like, I don't know how to get through to these guys. They're just doing whatever. And he's like, scare them. Just go in there and go crazy. Just completely scare them. So he screams at them all to get into the shower. And then he just goes into this, you lollygag to first. You lollygag with the ball. You lollygag. What does that make them? Lollygagger, sir. And yeah, I'll play that clip too here in just a second. But that scene it's just absolutely perfect.
Oh, for sure. And you know that there's, I mean, I know that, and it's not just baseball, it's other sports too. It's, you really got to have control of the clubhouse, and you really got to kind of make sure that you're the one in control. And what better way than to scare them?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to kind of do what you got to do to get the team back in control.
Hell of a shot. Sorry it got wasted. Jeez. I don't know what to do with these guys. I beg, I plead, I try to be a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. I don't... Huh?
They're kids. Scare them. That's what I do.
Yeah. Everybody into the shower! Anybody in the shower in 10 seconds gonna get fined $100! Larry!
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi,
Get in
5
there.
Mississippi,
Hurry it up.
6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi.
You guys, you lollygag the ball around the infield. You lollygag your way down to first. You lollygag in and out of the dugout. Do you know what that makes you, Larry?
Lollygaggers.
Lollygaggers. What's our record, Larry?
8 and 16.
8 and 16. How'd we ever win 8?
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. This is a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball. You got it? Now we We have got a 12-day road trip starting tomorrow. Bus leaves 6 in the morning.
So, Brad, you've seen Bull Durham, haven't you?
I haven't actually. There's a few on this list that I haven't seen, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a few on here too that, I was just going through putting down some of the more well-known ones, and I mean, I've seen probably the majority, but I know there's quite a few that I haven't seen on the little list we put together on here.
Yeah, and it's a decent sized list, so you might be forgiven if you haven't seen one or two or a couple,
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, if you look up the entire list of baseball movies, like I stupidly did earlier today, thinking, oh, well, maybe there's a couple on here that I haven't seen that I can squeeze in real quick that I forgot about, and I'm looking at the list and I'm thinking, yeah, there's like about 100 of them.
Yeah, it's like, I don't have that kind of time.
Nope, sure don't.
Yeah. Yeah, but Bull Durham's a classic. Again, came out in 1988. Definitely recommend watching. One of the best all-time that I can think of. One of my other favorite ones would be Field of Dreams. So I guess, again, sticking with Kevin Costner on here. And this is about, he plays Ray Kinsella, I think it was. And him and his family have this farm up in Iowa. And it's still like a legit thing with this place still being there.
Yeah, I think it was either recently, fairly recently, in the last year, or it was going to be in the next year, sometime around. They were actually going to have a pair of professional ball teams actually have a game at that field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be the Yankees and maybe White Sox were supposed to be playing.
That sounds right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ray Kinsella is married to Annie Kinsella, and they have a daughter named Karen. You've got James Earl Jones playing Terrence Mann. Burt Lancaster. Now, this is, I believe, one of his, if not his last role, playing Dr. Archibald Moonlight Graham. Yeah, it was a great little role. It was not his last role. He did have 4 other roles after that. But let's see, he was 80 years old when he passed away in 94.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Field of Dreams for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's on TV all the time.
It is. It's one you see on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I believe, the book was based on a book by, what was it? What was it by, I think Ray Kinsella was the actual author. Something like that.
It was W.P. Kinsella.
Okay. Yeah, it was based out on Shoeless Joe Jackson and the Black Sox of the 1990s. The
1919.
1919, yeah. 1990s. Not quite. Yeah, where they were accused of throwing the World Series, I believe, against the Cincinnati Reds.
Yep. Which, another great baseball movie, 8 Men Out, is all about that.
Yep, all about that. And that led to the banishment of many of the White Sox players from then, including Shoeless Joe Jackson, who was one of the best hitters of all time. And,
oh, yeah. I mean, you look up his stats, they're insane.
Yeah. And Shoeless Joe is played by Ray Liotta in this movie. He does a pretty good job as Shoeless Joe. But Ray kind of starts hearing these voices in his head. And, you know, if you build it, they will come. So he's trying to figure out what does that mean, and ends up building a baseball field out in his farm, in his cornfield. When he's out in the cornfield, if you build it, he will come. So he interprets it as an instruction to build a baseball field on the farm. And then all of a sudden, the ghost of these White Sox players from back then start showing up and at night. And then he starts getting other sayings and stuff and leads them to see Terrence Mann, again played by James Earl Jones. And I think they're supposed to go see a baseball game in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to Fenway Park, and as they're watching that, Ray gets another sign on, I think the scoreboard kind of glitches out, and he gets another, he sees it, but then he tries to tell Terrence, like, didn't you see that? And he's like, see what? And, he's kind of playing it off like he didn't see it. Then after he drops him off, he turns his little Volkswagen bus around, and Terrence is standing in the center of the street, and he says exactly what it was that he saw. So he did see it too. So now he thinks he's crazy as well. But I don't know, it's really, really good. They're trying to make sure they're not losing the farm. And of course, you've got Timothy Busfield, who plays his brother-in-law, Mark, trying to advise him, this is stupid. You're going to lose everything that you've worked for, and you've got a family to think about. 'Cause he's not seeing any of this stuff. But it's a great film.
And Timothy Busfield, also known as being one of the main players in Little Big League, which also I haven't seen in probably 25 plus years.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've seen that as well.
Yeah. I would say, I think Timothy Busfield is probably best known for 30-something, which, again, it's not even a show that I watch. I just know that he was on there.
He's definitely, he was like one of those dudes that really was hot. Like, you'd see him a lot in like 80s things and some of the 90s things, and then I don't know. I mean, I know he's worked consistently. It's just, I think he's done a lot of TV.
Yeah, he's mostly done TV stuff. Yeah, I would imagine this is his best film role. He was also in Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Played Poindexter.
Boy, I haven't seen any of the nerd movies for quite a while.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Well, you've got some extra time on your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mentioning Little Big League and looking it up here, it's just another one of those kind of mid-90s one-off movies about a kid who's like some phenom or something.
Yeah, he had like an accident, and suddenly with his arm he could throw like 100 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah, and he's playing for the Twins.
But I always get it mixed up with Big League.
Oh, yeah.
Because it came out kind of around the same time, and it's a kid who's dealing with, except that one, it's a kid like owning and managing the team, but I always get the two mixed up.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely one of those little things. Yeah, but Field of Dreams is good, and it's still hard to believe that movie has been around for, almost 31 years now.
Mm-hmm.
About as old as I am.
Huh.
Well, most of the movies are.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Kevin Costner and baseball. I guess he just loves the game of baseball, because he ended up doing another one that admittedly I have not seen, called For the Love of the Game.
I've seen it twice. I saw it when it first came out because my mom really wanted to rent it because she loves Kevin Costner. And then I saw it a few years ago because every once in a while it'll show up on TV, and I thought, maybe I'll like it more now because I'm more adult than I was in 99, 2000.
Right.
It's one of those that I think that in concept, it could be a really great movie. It's just, it's very, very much a romance movie.
Right.
I mean, basically the whole story is he's in, of course, aging pitcher, and he's kind of at the tail end of his career, and he's end up pitching a perfect game, and the movie is taking place in real time with him pitching the perfect game, but then there's flashbacks all the way through the game showing his relationship with whoever, I can't remember who it was, the female character. Their whole relationship all the way through, including, I remember there was like a accident where he's like sawing wood or something and has an accident, cuts his hand, and they're afraid he's not going to pitch again. And I don't know. In theory, I should have liked it more. It's just, it was, to me, more romance movie than baseball movie. Even though it is a baseball movie, it was too 50-50 for me.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, something about it's never really stood out to me that I'd want to watch it. I mean, I like Kevin Costner, so that's definitely not a reason why I wouldn't want to see it. Well, maybe someday I will get around to watching it 20 years after it came out. 21.
I mean, I won't say it's a bad movie. It just wasn't really for me.
Yeah, it didn't make its money back, I'll say that. Cumulative worldwide gross of just over $46 million on an estimated $80 million budget.
I wonder how much of that was Kevin's, not yours, other Kevin's salary.
I wish it was mine.
Yeah. Actually, you and me both.
Yeah, that would definitely be pretty nice. Let's see. Now, have either of you guys seen The Natural with Robert Redford?
Yeah.
From 1984?
No.
I love that movie, too.
Yeah, it's good.
There's actually two versions of it.
Really?
And, yeah, so there's, of course, the original version, but then about, I want to say 2008 or 9, somewhere in there, they released it for like an anniversary. I guess it was probably the 25th anniversary, so I guess 09. They released it on video with like a whole bunch of bonus features and whatever, but they actually brought Robert Redford in and shot new scenes, and I think it's like 10 or 15 minutes longer, where it frames the entire first act as basically a flashback. And they pretty much do it without, if I remember correctly, almost no dialogue. And for me at the time, I was still writing a lot of screenplays and reading up on screenplays and things. So for me, this was a fascinating, simple dive into how you can put in very minimal things and completely reshape your entire script. It's interesting. If you watch them back to back, it definitely changes the dynamic of the movie.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen this version that you're referring to.
Which, crazy as I am, that's the version I prefer. Therefore, that's the version that I own.
Interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting storyline. Again, it's kind of set back in the 1930s, and Roy Hobbs, played by Robert Redford, is an unknown middle-aged batter with a mysterious past that appears out of nowhere to take a losing 1930s baseball team to the top of the league in this magical sports fantasy. With the aid of a bat cut from a lightning-struck tree, Hobbs lives the fame he should have had earlier when he was a rising pitcher and he was inexplicably shot by a young woman.
Another underdog.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because at first he was a pitcher, and he meets the lady, and then she shoots him, and then he kind of disappears, and then kind of shows back up as this crazy good hitter guy. And I mean, it's a fascinating story. I mean, it definitely ties in with that whole mythic, like the old 30s baseball mythic heroes kind of thing. I mean, and the score is just, you can't even put into words the score. I mean, it's in any other movie, that score would almost be like so over the top it'd be funny, but in this movie it works perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, especially the final scenes or whatever where he hits the ball, it hits the lights and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just pretty wild.
It's another one that's really pays homage to the whole mythic status of baseball from yesteryear.
Yeah. This film's got a great cast, too. I mean, you got Robert Duvall, Glenn Close, Kim Basinger, Wilford Brimley, not in here talking about diabetes, Barbara Hershey. So, I mean, that's a pretty good cast there. Michael Madsen is in there. It made its money back and then some. So that's good.
Yeah, that was... Honestly, I wish there was more like it, but on the other hand, I'm kind of glad it's one of the few like it because it just kind of makes it that much more amazing.
Yeah, just very well done. It's definitely one I'd recommend you see, Brad. And I would say it's...
Well, got plenty of time to check out some things.
yeah, we got some time.
If only I had The Natural and Bull Durham for you to watch. Oh, wait, I do.
Ah.
There you go.
There was time.
Little Twilight Zone reference there.
Yeah. I would say it's probably my favorite Robert Redford film.
Ooh. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the biggest Robert Redford fan, but I mean, it's good. He's good.
I will say Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid's probably mine. But that's half Paul Newman, so I don't know if that counts.
Right. Kind of a little different there. Let's see. Let's see. Let's get into some movies that I think, Brad, you probably have seen. A League of Their Own.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so this came out in 1992 and was all about the women's baseball league that was briefly had back in during World War II. So instead of playing, fast pitch softball or things like that, men are all fighting at the war, and they need baseball because the country still wants the game of baseball, and it's not the same with the major stars of the game at the time being off fighting in World War II, like Ted Williams, for example.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, so many, big name players were gone, even if it was just for a year or two. Like, that little 42 to 45 just... I mean, even though our hometown team won 2 World Series during that time, arguably all the best players were pretty much overseas. So.
Mm-hmm. Again, this is another one of Tom Hanks' super memorable, great roles, playing the drunk manager, Jimmy Dugan. And playing it to perfection.
Oh, yes. Very believable.
And I mean, let's be real, there's not a lot Tom Hanks has done that he's done wrong. He's very enjoyable to watch in a lot of his movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that was also in his kind of I guess you'd say the height of kind of his comedic career. Like, he hadn't really gotten into as many of the dramatic stuff quite yet.
Right.
Right. Yeah, this is, right before Forrest Gump and all that. So yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I will say his character is kind of borderline where, yeah, it's comedic, but it is kind of dramatic too. So I think this was a good kind of tipping point.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah, you've got Gina Davis playing catcher Dottie Hinson, and she does a really great job as that role. The kind of the older sister to Lori Petty's character, Kit Keller. And there's that kind of family dynamic there between those two that, Dottie always overshadowed Kit and stuff like that.
Which from a purely dramatic standpoint, I thought the two of them, I mean, that's just, very relatable for the average person. You have the older sibling who kind of overshadows everything, and you got the rivalry kind of really splitting a wedge between them, and good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Let's see, then we also have Madonna, of all people, which this, I think, catches a lot of people off guard. She plays outfielder May Mordabilto, so an Italian gal, of course.
Yeah, that definitely caught me off guard when I was looking up the IMDb because it's not really something you expect to see in that movie.
No, this is kind of at one of her high points in her career. I mean, she was a big music star at this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and she was also kind of, her characters at the time very played towards her because she was kind of a provocative singer at the time, and her character was definitely the most, should we call it sexual, of the team.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see who else we got here. We got Rosie O'Donnell, third baseman Doris Murphy, and you remember her. She kind of the strong, kind of tough third baseman, tough player.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got Megan Cavanaugh, who played second baseman Marla Hooch, who she was kind of a different kind of a character, but she was not the prettiest of the ladies. She was kind of just a country farm girl that just kind of like stocky and really good baseball player.
Very quiet.
Yeah.
Which every time I see her, I always, for some reason, I always think of, she played as Broomhilda in Robin Hood Men in Tights. So every time I see her, I think of that movie.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. And I mean, just the interactions between Tom Hanks and then you've got Biddy Schramm is her name. She played Evelyn Gardner. I believe she was the character that had the little boy who was who was a mess. The little kid was something else. And that's who Jimmy Duggan is going after about the, crying. There's no crying in baseball and stuff. No, definitely good.
Definitely one of the most quotable lines in a baseball movie.
Yeah, and just about any time you have like a list of most popular quotes from baseball movies or scenes from baseball movies, or really even scenes from movies in general, like that is always top 5, top 10, sometimes top 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just cannot not enjoy that one. No, it was good. I mean, you got Bill Pullman kind of playing a very small role as Dottie's husband, who's off at war. Tia Leone plays a first baseman for one of the other teams. You've got one of the voices from The Simpsons, Harry Shearer, playing a newsreel announcer. Gosh, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. John Lovitz, yeah. He's like one of the reporters in there. And it was directed by Penny Marshall from Laverne and Shirley.
Who's directed quite a few good things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she had a really nice career as a director. Yep, definitely another one that definitely recommend people watch.
Yeah, it was odd growing up, being as this happened back in World War II. Never really knew about a story like that. And my parents had actually gotten it for Christmas one year. I think it was my stepmom got it for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time that I had saw that movie. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, what a great story to tell from what, even being as a kid from so long ago. So, yeah, highly recommended to watch A League of Their Own, which I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. What is this trying to think of what not directed, but which like backlot did this?
This is, let's see if I can see.
Yeah, which studio?
Columbia.
Yep, Columbia
Okay.
Pictures.
Got it. Well, streaming might be a little harder on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch it on Prime Video for $2.99.
Okay.
So, not bad, but you can usually find it on TV somewhere.
It's not like an R-rated movie, so they don't really cut a whole lot.
No.
If they cut anything, it's just for time.
Right, yeah. Let's see. Oh, Brad, have you seen The Sandlot?
Oh boy, have I. It's odd that this particular one, while it is more centered around baseball, it's also kind of a coming of age story as well, and it kind of all happens within this like one chunk of a summer, and this probably might be one of the first baseball movies that I can really remember sitting down and watching and enjoying as a kid. Like, oh, a bunch of kids playing some baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this movie came out in 1993, so I was still in high school.
I actually remember seeing it in theater.
I was 5, so...
Oh...
I was too busy watching Jurassic Park in theaters.
I mean, I saw that in theater too, but...
but also being scared.
Well, that's the other thing about this one in particular. Speaking of being scared, like, you have that mythical beast next door that is kind of terrifying on one hand, because every time you see it or they talk about it, it's like this larger-than-life thing. But it's never played up to where it's actually terrifying for like kids. It's like that, just that fine line level where it's almost like cartoony kind of scary.
Yeah, it's definitely like, it's one of those bigger dog kind of things, but it's more of an anxiety thing than it is like a scary thing.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, going back to, because this is like, again, kind of referencing the whole mythic status of players from before. In this case, it's Babe Ruth, but they kind of do that with the dog too, where in their heads it's like this larger than life thing, but it's really not. It's just a big dog, and it's like kind of an overcoming your fears kind of a thing wrapped up in there too.
Yeah, and you even kind of see the dog from their perspective, where it again kind of seems a little larger than life, and then towards the end of the film the dog seems to shrink almost and just kind of become a normal dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great and I never really thought about it before, but it's a great way of looking at like childhood fears and overcoming them and realizing what we're afraid of isn't as big as what we made it up to be in our minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used a mastiff was the beast.
Very pretty one.
Big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Big dogs. And I believe the dog was owned by James Earl Jones' character, Mr. Myrtle.
Yes.
Who was blind in this film.
Yeah.
Which is funny when you've got a character named Squints.
Yeah.
Then you've got Smalls. So Scotty Smalls, Benjamin Franklin Rodriguez. It's kind of one of the lead characters. You've got the catcher, I guess, Hamilton Ham Porter. Again, you got Michael Squints Pellidoris, Alan Yaya McLennan, Kenny DeNunez, and Bertram Grover Weeks, Tommy Repeat Timmons, Timmy Timmons. You got Dennis Leary playing Bill, and you've got Marley Shelton as Wendy.
And we can't forget Karen Allen, probably best known for Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yep, as Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of great scenes in here, a lot of great quotes. You're killing me, Smalls. You see that picture of Ham on T-shirts all over the place now.
Oh, yeah.
That quote's great. And when Squints has that episode at the pool where he pretends to be drowning so he can be saved by Wendy the lifeguard.
Good old Wendy Peppercorn.
Mm-hmm. This movie made its money back and then some. It had a cumulative worldwide gross of $34 million on a almost $5 million budget. So it did good. Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder why they waited 12 years to make a sequel?
Yeah, The Sandlot 2 came out in 2005, and admittedly I have not seen this one.
I have not either. I'm not sure if I want to. I don't know. It's one of those like lightning in a bottle situations. I seriously doubt that they grabbed people the same way they did the first time.
Right.
I mean, even just judging by the score on IMDb, the 7.8 for Sandlot, and then Sandlot 2 was like 4.5, and that's out of 10. Again, I'd give it a watch, and I'm not gonna diss it just based on just me thinking, but I'd give it a watch. But I just kind of doubt that it's gonna live up to that.
Yeah.
Mythical expectation.
Yeah, James Earl Jones reprises his role as Mr. Myrtle in this film. Which is
I could be wrong, but I thought I read that it's essentially a remake of the first.
Yeah, probably is.
Okay, interesting.
Which would make sense why he'd be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Johnny mistakenly sends a model rocket over the junk fence in the Great Fear's yard. The gang must retrieve it. Yeah, just not really the same. Had a $15 million budget, and it was a direct-to-home release.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's your sign right there.
Yeah. And apparently there was a third one called The Sandlot Heading Home that came out in 2007, which I did not know about.
I knew of it, but just enough to know that it existed, and thought, if I have no rush to see the second one, I definitely don't have a rush to see a third one.
Yeah.
You're right.
The late Luke Perry plays a role in the third one. He plays a character named Tommy Santorelli. Yeah. It had a budget of $4 million and was also a direct-to-home release, it looks like. Or a cable release, whatever.
Man, that's So okay, that was the third one you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what was the opening weekend, or rather, what they spent on the second one?
On the second one, looks like they spent like about 15 million.
Okay, okay. I was gonna say, typically, first one usually pretty cheap. Then they get a bigger budget, which it seems like they did, and then it seems like they really backtracked on that third one.
Yeah, yeah. Then they went down quite a bit. See, because the first one had a budget of what? It had 4.9 million, so which is even more than the third one.
Right.
Which was 14 years later. Yeah. So I guess I wouldn't recommend the second or third one, but I'd probably try the second one just to see.
Yeah, why not? I mean, if it shows up on a streaming thing, yeah, I'd give it a try. But the first one's really the classic, that we're referring to.
Yeah, I think within the last couple of years, I mean, there was a big thing of, hey, it's the 25th anniversary, or no, not 25th. Yeah, I guess it would have been the 25th anniversary a couple of years ago. And I know a lot of the cast, were getting back together and going around and touring and stuff like that. So, I mean, they still live off this role from their childhood. I mean, it's such a memorable movie for people.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Again, it's kind of that coming of age story while also being a baseball story in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely don't miss that one.
Let's see, what else do we have on here? I mean, now it's like you start getting into things. I mean, Bad News Bears. I've seen both the 1976 and the 2005 versions. I like Walter Matthau in his role as Boilermaker instead of Billy Bob Thornton. I mean, I thought Billy Bob Thornton did good, but just the cast of the 76 version is just phenomenal.
I mean, it's just kind of an unapologetically mean movie.
It is. My gosh,
which I love.
Is. Yeah, I don't know if they could get away with it today, but actually, I mean, maybe they could.
Especially, wasn't there like at the end where they're like, the kids are like drinking beer?
Yeah, after
like
they
celebrating.
Yeah,
like,
after they won the Little League Championship or whatever it was they were going after.
Like you wouldn't see kids doing that now.
No, and there was a movie within the last year or two with a bunch of kids that was an R-rated film. It was a comedy, and I can't remember what the name of it was. But that got me thinking, like, maybe they could go back again and do a Bad News Bears style movie and do it right.
I mean, I would love it.
Oh yeah, it's just, you go back and you see this film, it's hilarious. Got Tatum O'Neal playing Amanda, who is the girl pitcher on the team. Vic Morrow plays Roy Turner, who's the coach of one of the other teams. It's kind of a big deal. Jackie Earle Haley plays Kelly Leak, the bad boy on the team. He's riding motorcycles and smoking cigarettes, and he's just a bad kid, pretty much. But he's a good talent. And you have other characters like Tanner and Engelberg, and it's just so good. Let's see. Timmy Lupus was the real quiet, shy kid. But I think Tanner, he was the little smart ass, little tough guy, little spitfire. Yeah, he was really good in that role.
It was a dumb idea anyway. I mean, you wouldn't have helped the team much. I mean, you were great when you were 9, but girls reach their peak athletically about that age. Probably haven't picked up a ball in 2 years anyway. Give my love to your mom. Don't be such a stranger.
Hey, Boilermaker.
Yeah?
Got my curve breaking 2.5 feet.
Oh, yeah? Then you have been practicing, huh? Now, don't give me no baloney about a curve breaking 2.5 feet, though.
For how much?
$10.
Make it 20.
You got a bet. So we're gonna see some curves.
Okay, the next one's coming right between your eyes. Ballet lessons.
9 ballet lessons. They're $3 a shot for crying out loud. I can't.
12
What are you doing?
ballet
Give me the.
lessons or no go.
I just lit that cigar. That's terrible. Make it 9 ballet
I want
lessons.
the imported kind of jeans.
Jeans?
Yes.
What are you talking
French
about? I'm not
jeans.
getting you any jeans. You know what You know how many pools I gotta clean to get you a
Expensive
pair of
kind.
imported jeans? What's the matter with American jeans?
I don't like them.
What do you think you are, a catfish hunter?
Who's he?
Boys, I'd like you to meet your new pitcher, Amanda Wurlitzer.
Juice fixed niggers and now a girl? Grab a bat, punk.
Now, have you seen Bad News Bears, Brad?
I can't say that I have either on, well, possibly the remake. Not really ringing a bell, though.
Yeah.
I will say right now, I tried to watch it today, and I couldn't find the original, like, on anything unless I was renting it. But the remake is on several streaming places.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the remake's not bad for what it is. It's just if you've seen the original, it's different because the humor's a little different what they've got to do. But it's still pretty good. I'd still recommend people checking it out too. But the sequels to the original Bad News Bears just, didn't really care for them all that much. Bad News Bears and Breaking Training, Bad News Bears Go to Japan.
I will say I haven't seen either one of them, but I do know that Walter Matthau, I think, was only in the first one. And, I mean, that's another one of those where, like, I love him.
I do
so
too.
One of those without him in it, it's just going to be hard to watch.
Right. Yeah, just not the same. 61 with talking about the story of 1961 with Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris. I think that was a made-for-cable movie, if I remember right.
Yep, HBO.
Yeah, so it was an HBO film. Actually pretty well done. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we just recently watched this. I was like kind of floored by how great it was, actually. And just because it doesn't get mentioned very often when you watch baseball movies, they do mention the Cardinals, even in passing, because I mean that's kind of what it's all about, is chasing that home run record. And this is just after, I mean, a couple of years after when Mark McGwire hit, what was it, 70?
Yeah, he hit 70 in 1998 with that big race with him and Sammy Sosa.
And it's got a fantastic cast also that, like, even though I've seen it a few times, whenever we were rewatching it recently, I always forget, like, oh my, I know that guy, I know that guy, I know that guy.
Yep. Yeah, you got Barry Pepper playing Roger Maris, Thomas Jane playing Mickey Mantle, Anthony Michael Hall playing Whitey Ford, Richard Masur, who's been a character actor for years in small roles, plays Milt Kahn.
Got Bruce McGill, who's another one of his character actors.
Mm-hmm. Does a good job. And it's directed by Billy Crystal.
Yep. Because he's a huge Yankees fan.
Yep.
So, of course.
Yeah, he's a huge baseball fan in general, I believe.
Yeah. And then there's Christopher McDonald, who every time I think of, I just think of Shooter McGavin from Happy Gilmore. But
yeah,
He was good as the well, I mean, it was Mel Allen, but I guess he was the announcer for it.
Yeah, I mean, Mel Allen, you can't replicate Mel
No.
Allen's voice. Gosh,
Nope.
I used to love This Week in Baseball just to listen to his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a good movie. I'd recommend people checking out if you get a chance.
Yeah, it's one of those that for a direct to cable type movie, like this was before obviously like what Netflix has done and Hulu and Prime and some of the others with some of the great series and things they've done. This is one of those kind of buckle up and hold on because it's not really a happy story for most of it.
No, because I mean, you learn a lot of the pressure that Roger Maris went through. You learn a lot of the stress that Mickey Mantle went through. I mean, Mickey Mantle had an alcohol problem throughout his pretty much his entire life, and he was very often injured and playing hurt a lot. And it was just an interesting kind of back and forth between them two in the 1961 season because they always figured, well, it's going to be Mickey Mantle. He's the Yankees at that time. Kind of took the reins from Joe DiMaggio and became the man on the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and I mean that's the only team he ever played for, so he was like the face of the team for the whole time he was there. And
Yep.
Maris just much quieter and not wanting the spotlight, and
Yep.
hadn't been there his whole career, and they just picked Mantle over him, even though if you actually knew them personally, you'd probably have a different opinion of the two of them.
Right. Yeah, Roger Maris seemed to be the nicer overall guy. I think Mickey Mantle could be kind of a jerk at times, but I don't know. And Maris did briefly play for the Cardinals towards the end of his career.
Yeah, around 67, 68, because I know he was on at least one of the. It had to have at least been 68 because I remember watching the where Bob Gibson does the 17 strikeouts in the World Series game, and you see Maris come running over, and I always, oh, that's right, he was on that team.
Yep. Yeah, he was with the Cardinals in both 67 and 68. Those were his last two seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, outside of Maris hitting 61 and 61, the most home runs he had ever hit was 39.
I mean, I will say that was also kind of an era where home runs weren't as deified as they became like in the 90s.
Right. Yeah, and that season, Maris only had 159 hits, so almost half of them were home runs.
Mm-hmm. That's a rabbit hole that I could go down for hours when I start looking up stats and comparing them, which, yes, I'm the nerd. I sometimes do that.
Yeah. Yeah, in the 1967 World Series win over the Boston Red Sox, he played in all 7 games with the Cardinals, batted .385 with a home run and 7 RBIs. So
pretty good.
That was his best World Series. He was in the World Series 5 times with the Yankees. They lost to the Cardinals in 1964.
Yep. Yep. In fact, I believe, I'll have to look up, see if this is still true, but for a long time, the team that had the best winning percentage over the Yankees in the World Series was the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Go figure.
Right.
Well, also regarding looking up stats, Justin, we also watched Moneyball, which kind of blew me away as well.
You know, that's one because that's another one I saw in the theater, and I knew some of the stuff, but I didn't know much about it. But that opened my whole eyes up to a lot of the stuff that's another rabbit hole to go deep dive into, talk about stats. Oof.
Yeah, that movie's pretty much all about it, about how the Oakland Athletics kind of changed their approach of evaluating talent and stuff.
And it's that's another one of those movies that every once in a while it's just nice to kind of throw on, and it doesn't like deify baseball. It doesn't like pay homages to like the heroes of the past. It's very much like this is the business of it. This is the reality of it. This is the way it is, and it's pretty unashamed look at the way baseball is now versus the way it used to be.
Yeah, definitely. You want high on base guys, and then you want people that can drive them in. You want doubles hitters, and it's just they had a limited budget, and they wanted to squeeze the most amount out of their budget that they could. Sweet cast: Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Robin Wright, Chris Pratt. Just to name a few of the names that I can think of right off the top of my head, just looking through the cast list.
And I will say, with that movie, my favorite, I mean, I have a lot of favorite scenes, but pretty much any time you have Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill in the same scene together, oh, it's gold.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely a great film. It did really good too. 7.6 out of 10 from an IMDb rating, and it made its money back and much more than some. It almost doubled their $50 million estimated budget.
Not too shabby.
Yeah, cumulative worldwide gross of about $110 million. Not bad. Yeah, a lot of people say it's one of Brad Pitt's best roles. He's playing Billy Bean.
I would be right there with him. It's definitely one of my favorites. I mean, there's quite a few of his movies I really like, but that one I'd put top 5 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah,
it's just, I will say, it's another one of those movies where he's eating most of the movie. So I get very hungry watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure you've got your snacky snacks right there with you so you can watch the movies.
Right.
Well,
you're gonna
according
be
to
hungry.
this, if you are curious, it looks like it might be on Hulu.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's got an 87 Metascore from Metacritic, so it's pretty good.
In fact, I remember, now that you mention it, it got me thinking, whenever I got the Blu-ray of it, I put it in my PS3 back at the time to watch, and there was because I remember PS3 had that thing where you could have like the backgrounds and the whole themes and all that's somewhat different than PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a Moneyball background, and I still have it on my PS3, and it's basically the cover of the poster, but you can have that as your background on there. And for a while, I just did because I liked it that much.
No, you just want to look at Brad Pitt.
I have to admit, it's not one of the best covers for a movie.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Pretty boring.
Yeah. Him sitting in the stands looking over his left shoulder. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. That's the best you can come up with.
You're right. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. It was nominated for 6 Oscars.
Yeah, I could kind of see why.
Let's see. I kind of mentioned Cobb. There's been a lot of discussion about that movie and that book from Al Stump about whether or not that's really how Ty Cobb was. I mean, Ty Cobb had an interesting reputation, but I was listening to a audiobook I recently got on Audible, and I'm pulling it up now, but it kind of dispelled a lot of that stuff just to say, maybe that's not really, there's no like proof that that's Ty Cobb was that wild of a guy. I mean, sure, he had a bit of a temper, but yeah, it's just simply called Ty Cobb by Charles Learson. And that audiobook was great. But the movie was good too. So, just, I don't know. Seeing an older Ty Cobb played by Tommy Lee Jones, it was good. I don't know if
I gotta say, like his, like in the Ken Burns baseball, they talk about him quite a bit, and the way they talk about him in there, it's more like a just fierce competitor, has a bit of a temper. That's about as far as they really go with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the gist of what I think about Ty Cobb, is that he was one of, if not the best overall hitters in baseball ever, just as a pure hitter. And he was a very fierce competitor. Yeah,
I mean, he was going to give 100% for sure, and if that meant spiking you, sliding into second base, he would do it.
Yeah,
but it's
coming in hard.
Not to do it to be mean.
Right.
He's doing to win.
He plays hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which, I mean, a lot of them did. I mean, it was a much more rough game back then.
It was, yeah. He didn't have all the player safety rules now that are in place, especially like at home plate and stuff like that. You don't usually see catchers getting blasted as much now as you used to.
Yep. In fact, the biggest difference there for a long time, until probably the last 20 years, was back whenever Cobb was playing and some of the others, like they would intentionally make the ball dirty so the hitter couldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that ended up leading to somebody getting hit in the head. This is way before helmets.
Yep.
And he didn't see it, so he didn't get out of the way, and he killed him.
Yeah.
So that's whenever they went to the rule where if there's dirt on the ball, you got to exchange out the ball in order so they can see it at all times.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was the pitcher or the batter was a Cleveland Indian.
I believe it was a batter.
Okay. Yeah, that's about as much as I remember about the story. Now, 20 years ago, I would have known pretty much all the details, but...
Yeah. They cover it in detail in the Ken Burns series. So.
Yeah. Which is phenomenal. And is one of the few baseball TV shows that I can think of. Because, I consider that a show. I don't consider that a movie, even though it's a 10-part, actually now 11-part, because the 10th inning is spread over 2 parts.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it was one of those PBS Ken Burns series, which, I mean, they're all great.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
But that one was very... I don't know. If you're like a casual baseball fan, it'll blow your mind.
Yeah. Yes, it will. Yeah, I need to watch it again. I've got some time now. Maybe I should.
If only somebody like myself had it on DVD that people could borrow. Oh, wait, I do.
And I think it's on Netflix still, right?
It comes and goes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix at the moment.
Most of his are usually on there, but some of them kind of come and go.
Yeah, definitely. The other movie that I liked, even though it wasn't like really well received, was The Babe from 1992 with John Goodman playing Babe Ruth.
I don't know that I've seen it all the way through.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, it's a pretty good film. Let's see. I'm not seeing Ken Burns baseball on here on Netflix. I see The Battered Bastards of Baseball, which I've been wanting to watch. The Natural is on Netflix. There you go, Brad.
Yeah, I forgot. It is on there.
Yep.
I don't think it's the, if I remember correctly, I don't think it's the 25th anniversary special edition with the extra footage. I think it's the theatrical.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. There's also Major League 2. It's there. No, The Babe with Babe Ruth is... I mean, I've always loved Babe Ruth. Probably one of my favorite players ever. Just a big kid that just wanted to live life to the fullest.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, and could play baseball like hardly anybody else could at the time, and just totally transformed the game into somewhat what it is now, where power is more of a big deal instead of just getting base hits.
And a lot of people forget he was a pitcher.
Yep. Oh, yeah, he would have been a Hall of Fame pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, he's got records that will never be beat because the only person in recent memory who's even people were like, oh, maybe, was whenever Shohei Ohtani came up because he was a great pitcher who also could hit for power. And oh, maybe he could challenge Babe's records. No.
Right. Yeah. Ohtani, well, in 2020, he should have been back from his Tommy John surgery, so he should have been able to pitch again this season.
And I know that they had him like do some pinch hitting and DHing and things, but it just it hasn't quite, at least right now, turned out quite the way that they were hoping it would. But he's got some years left, so we'll see.
Yeah, he's still a fairly young guy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. In 2013, the movie 42 came out about Jackie Robinson. That was a pretty good movie.
Now, we went to see that in theaters. That was also a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it was really well done. So for one of the more modern baseball movies, because I mean, it seemed like there was a big drought between like big film releases for big movies.
Yeah, I mean, between the 90s and then up to like mid to late 2000s, there was kind of not a lot going on there. And recently they started to trickle back in a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, you had Moneyball in 2011, and then 42 in 2013. There were some other movies in between there, but not like, to me, really big ones. But Chadwick Boseman plays Jackie Robinson. Harrison Ford is in there as well. Which, I mean,
right.
I mean, a lot of people know Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa from Black Panther.
Oh.
And then, what's his face? Harrison Ford played as very kind of forgotten by the average baseball fan, but he plays Branch Rickey, who's very famous for being in St. Louis for the Cardinals. He essentially created the farm system.
Right. Yep. Yeah, he was definitely a great baseball mind.
Mm-hmm. I'd argue one of the, I mean, there's many of them throughout the years, but I'd say he's definitely one of those forward-thinking, before his time types.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this had a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb and had a budget of $40 million estimated and made approximately $97.4 million worldwide. So, did good.
Oh, that also had Alan Tudyk and John C. McGinley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a decent cast.
Yeah.
I think Alan Tudyk was pretty good.
Every time I think of Alan Tudyk, I think of the original British Death at a Funeral.
Mm.
He's the guy who gets high on the acid or whatever that the one brother makes. Oh, that's a funny movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that he plays Iago in the 2019 live-action Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, he's probably most known for Firefly, really,
right.
But he's been quite a few things.
Yeah. Played K2SO in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he does a lot of voiceovers.
Oh, yeah,
he's
does.
also in Dodgeball as Steve the Pirate.
Oh, that's right, yes. God, he's good in that.
He's another one of those dudes that, like, everything you see him in, he's great in, but you always forget how many things he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph. He was also in Wreck-It Ralph, the second one, and he played the Know-It guy, basically the knows more. So yeah,
Again, it just goes to show he's good at what he does, but sometimes you forget he is who he is because his voice works so good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, John C. McGinley. He's a funny actor as well. Yeah, it was a good movie. I need to watch that one again. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. You got The Rookie with, was it Dennis Quaid?
Yep.
Which I think that was a Disney movie about a pitcher who like kind of made a deal with like his high school baseball team or something that he was coaching, that he would try out for the majors, and ends up getting signed, and actually a true story. So pretty interesting story.
I wonder if that's on Disney
Morris.
Plus.
I believe it is.
Oh, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. He ended up pitching for I believe the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he was a Texas high school chemistry teacher and coach of the school's baseball team. He always loved baseball, and he agreed as a way of motivating his player to go to a professional tryout if they win the championship. And sure enough, the 39-year-old father of three found himself at a camp for Tampa Bay Devil Rays and somehow seemed to regain his pitching arm, easily throwing a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. And he actually got called up to pitch against Texas, playing the Rangers. So, that's kind of a cool way to do something like that. If you're going to make it and get a chance to play in the big leagues, you get to do it in front of in your home state.
Just looking him up real quick, he MLB debut was September 18th, 1999. Last appearance, May 9th, 2000. So was not up there very long.
No, he got there when he was 39. So.
But he got there.
Right.
I mean, it's almost an impossibility to get there.
Yeah, when you're young.
Yeah.
And then to get there at that age. No, it's one of Dennis Quaid's better roles.
And does appear to be on Disney Plus as well as Rookie of the Year.
Of course.
So some of these movies we can all go back and check out. Let's see what else is on this nice little movie list. Kind of a lot of throwaways. The Rookie was fun, 2002. It involves the Cubs, the young kid. One movie that I do want to watch that I just found out about, apparently came out in 2008. It's called Sugar. This movie is apparently about like a Cuban baseball player that, kind of going through all that stuff with the challenges of being a defector of Cuba to get into baseball and all that.
That actually, now that I'm looking at it, kind of sounds familiar. Yeah, no, that looks like that might be interesting.
Yeah, I need to look that one up.
I guess it'd be kind of wrong for me to have a discussion about baseball and not mention my old roommate's favorite baseball movie. Well, probably. He never shut up about the movie, so it's obviously one of his favorites. But anyone remember Hardball?
Mm-hmm.
Keanu Reeves?
Yep.
He loved that movie, and I just walk by and I like, you watching Hardball again? Oh yeah, of course. Not that it's a bad movie; it's a good movie. It just wasn't. I'd rather watch Major League.
Right.
Well, and one of my guilty pleasures is Angels in the Outfield, actually. I definitely grew up with that film as well as Sandlot.
I assume your 90s version, not the 50s version.
Correct, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Uh-huh. Or not 50, the 60s version. My bad. Angels didn't exist in the 50s.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
I know.
yeah, Angels in the Outfield from 1994 is another one of those Disney films.
Hmm. I probably haven't seen it since it came out on video back then.
Oh man, it's probably been 20 years since I've seen that movie.
In fact, I have a feeling we rented it at the local, oh boy, whatever, because Blockbuster wasn't in town at that time, so whatever the grocery store was, and watched it on our VHS.
Actually got some pretty good. I mean, it's been probably since the time it came out since I've seen it. But you got Danny Glover, Tony Danza, who also played a retired baseball player in Who's the Boss. Christopher Lloyd, apparently young Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Wow.
Adrian Brody.
Oh.
And Matthew McConaughey.
Wow.
As a few names that people probably would know off the top of their head.
Oh my God, me being the nerd that I am and loving Westerns, Ben Johnson was in it. He was in a bunch of Westerns way back in the 60s.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, he passed away in 1996, so not long after the movie was done.
Oh, and Neil McDonough was in it too. He's been in quite a few other things. I can't name a single one at the moment, but
yeah, he's an interesting actor, I'll say.
Mm.
He's a guy that you look at him and you think, he's a pretty decent looking guy. He's got a different look.
Mm-hmm.
But you wonder why it's
instantly recognizable.
Yeah, it's like, but you don't, it doesn't like have, he was never a star.
Yeah.
He was just kind of always a small time kind of a guy. But yeah, he's been in so much.
Oh, he was in at least one of the Captain America movies.
Yep. He was in briefly in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in one episode. Yeah, he's been in a lot.
Oh, Star Trek First Contact. That's what I was trying to think of. Like, I knew him from something sci-fi.
It's like most recently I've been seeing him in the Yellowstone TV series. Which is actually a really good series. That's also stars Kevin Costner.
All things lead back to Kevin Costner.
It seems like it. Especially when it comes to baseball.
Right.
6 Degrees of Kevin Costner.
Right.
Yeah, that show, Yellowstone, is on Paramount Network.
Well, we'll see if the CBS streaming service will merge with Paramount and they'll create their own streaming service in the next year.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
There's possibility.
Yep. We've already referenced 8 Men Out from 1988. Yeah, it's really good if you're wanting, again, more baseball history. You know, you get the Say It Ain't So, Joe, and stuff like that.
And again, Charlie Sheen.
Yep, Charlie Sheen, another baseball movie. You got Pride of the Yankees, which is about Lou Gehrig. This is in 1942. Babe Ruth actually plays himself in the movie because he was still alive at the time.
Mm-hmm. You get the great Gehrig speech.
Yep. You've got Rookie of the Year in 1993. Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac in 2004. I've only seen that one time, and it was forgettable. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing that either.
I know there was a Pride of St. Louis baseball movie, but I never saw it. And I'm very sad that I haven't. I know I need to.
Let's see. Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck in 1992. Again, I've only seen that one time, and that was probably that many years ago.
Yeah, I remember we rented it and watched it way back, but I couldn't tell you a thing about it. I'd like to revisit it. out of most of these. Like I'm most curious about that. I just love the whole fish out of water kind of scene where you have the American player having to go play in Japan.
Right. Yeah. To try to keep a career going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is an interesting story. It was an interesting movie.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, there's a lot on. If you pull up a list of baseball movies, there's a whole lot of movies that are on it that aren't really baseball movies. They just have something that has to do with baseball in the movie.
Right.
But probably one of the best one of those, I would say, is probably The Naked Gun, because it's not a baseball movie, but
At all.
At all. But that whole last sequence at the baseball stadium is just hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen's character is playing an umpire, and he's feeling up pretty much every player.
He's well, he's trying to be undercover because he's a cop, and he's trying to be undercover, and he gets stuck having to be an umpire, and he also sang the national anthem, but didn't quite because it was supposed to be an opera singer, and he comes out instead of the opera singer, and yeah, he just butchers that. But then what makes it iconic is him as the umpire, the home plate umpire, calling everything strikes because it gets the crowd to be excited, and he just gets more and more ridiculous with his calls.
Right. Yeah. I watched that clip again. Just again is another one of those things that's on gratefully on YouTube. So you get to watch all these little clips and scenes like that.
Recently, like a couple months ago, I just on a whim decided to rewatch the 3 Naked Gun movies because I haven't seen them since I was a kid, and honestly, those are still a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're all on Netflix.
They might be. I mean, Leslie Nielsen is great.
Yeah, I mean, another one of those guys who started out as a serious actor and then somewhere along the way transitioned to humor and really shined.
Let's see. Yep, Naked Gun 1, Naked Gun 2.5. I don't see...
No 33 1/3?
No, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
A bunch of police academies are on there, though.
Yeah, I think they're all on there right now.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch the Police Academy movies again.
I'd hate to say it, but a few months ago I actually did.
Nice.
I love them. Except for 5. I really hate 5, but I love all the rest of them.
Yeah, it does look like they're all pretty much there. There's 3, 4, 1, 2. The one for Russia.
Yeah. All right, I take it back. I don't like the Russia one.
There's 5. So how many were there total? 5?
So there were 6 that were numbered, and then the Russia one was 7.
Okay. Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, and the last movie I had on there was I remember Gary Coleman, who played Arnold on Different Strokes, was in a baseball movie, and it was called The Kid from Left Field. It was a 1979 TV movie. I know I've seen clips of it, and I've probably seen it on TV somewhere when I was a kid, but I know it revolved around the Padres, and that because their uniforms were brown and yellow, so you can't forget what those uniforms, they just stand out because they were not the most attractive uniforms back then.
Yeah, they're basically UPS of mustard stains.
Yes. Yeah. That's good.
I mean, to be fair, it's still a very popular, a lot of the fans still love those colors. And to each their own.
To each their own, definitely. And I know there's a lot more baseball movies, but those are to me the main ones that I can think of.
There's a lot. I will say, out of sports movies, my favorite, I guess I'm kind of biased because my favorite sport is probably baseball, but I'd say as a whole collectively, with the major sports, baseball has a really good run of movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall. But, I mean, it's got to kind of be tough to pull off a baseball movie, I would think, because you got to get a bunch of extras in a baseball stadium and film a lot of scenes.
I wouldn't even want to imagine trying to coordinate all that.
No, I'm sure it's a very challenging film to pull off. Although now you would just use a lot of CGI for crowds and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So probably be a little easier to pull off. TV show wise, you've got, I don't know if you would call Brockmire a TV show about baseball, because Hank Azaria's character is an ex-baseball announcer. I mean, I've not seen the show, but it looks actually pretty good, so I might end up checking it out.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of ads for it, and one of the ads said something about they wanted him to be like commissioner or something, and I thought, that's kind of that's a side of baseball that we haven't really seen before, so I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. In 2016, the show was only around for one season. It was called Pitch. It had Mark Paul Gosselaar, better known as Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say they may have been the Padres as well. Can't remember. But it was a good show. It was about a female. It was the first, ended up being the first female in the major leagues. She was a pitcher, and that's why they called it Pitch. And I thought it was a good show. I was pretty disappointed that they canceled it after 10 episodes.
Huh. Now that you mention it, I do kind of vaguely remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I want to say it was on Fox.
Fox, yeah. How about that?
Eastbound and Down. That's another show I haven't watched, but I've heard nothing but great things about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about the only one on the list that I'm even familiar with.
And then you've got The Bad News Bears from 79 to 80. I guess it ran 1 or 2 seasons. I didn't have any clue this was a thing.
I didn't either. This is the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, it was, again, not the regular cast. So, but similar, I mean, it's like similar characters, but different people playing them, and I'm sure it was a mess.
And I'm sure it was very watered down, even from the watered down movies.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it was. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can think of any other baseball TV shows.
No, not off the top of my head.
No.
I just feel like movie platforms seem to be the way to go for baseball.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even movies like Dazed and Confused, which again isn't a baseball movie, but it has that bit of baseball element to a whole sequence in there. Good old high school baseball.
Yep. So when it comes to TV shows, I guess they more so go towards like football and stuff.
Yeah, Friday Night Lights, and I'm sure there's many more.
Mm-hmm. So another thing that we all like to do is play video games. And
especially right now.
Yeah. There's been no shortage of video games for baseball. Not all of them have been good. But there have really been some great releases for baseball experiences on a video game console. I mean, the first one I remember playing was Home Run on the Atari 2600. Then it was Baseball, just simply named Baseball on the original Nintendo. So, what were some of the ones that you guys remember playing first or getting involved in?
Ken Griffey Jr., easily.
Mm-hmm. On Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was, 2 releases on there?
I don't know.
I actually don't think I played a baseball game until the N64.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, on my NES, I played a lot of Tecmo Bowl, but that's probably the only sports game I played until I can't even remember what it's called, but it was 98, I want to say, and it had Griffey on it. but it was one of those.
I think
But
they
I
called
played
it.
a lot of that one.
I forgot what they called it on the Nintendo 64. Maybe Slugfest as well.
Oh, maybe.
Home Run Derby or something like that.
Maybe it was, it might have just been like, I don't know. I looked it up earlier and I thought, oh, what a terrible name. And then I completely forgot what it was called.
I think the most popular games for like the Nintendo the early days was RBI Baseball, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The Bases Loaded series. Again, the first one was, I think, the best. I had Baseball Stars. I didn't have Bases Loaded or RBI Baseball. I had rented them, but Baseball Stars.
I want to say we had RBI Baseball in like one of those flea market specials or something like that we picked up.
Yeah. I know getting a chance to play as Vince Coleman on there, if you just drop down a little bunt, you could run for days because he was so fast on there. But Baseball Stars was my favorite one. That was where you could actually create your own like team, and you could give them names and stuff and change their statistics, and it had a battery save in it, kind of like Legend of Zelda. So, of course, in the late 80s and 90s, you're making a lineup of like characters and stuff from other cartoons and stuff. You're putting together a lineup with, Optimus Prime and Soundwave and, Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes and He-Man and the Lionel from Thundercats and Mutant Ninja Turtles. So just giving them weird names and stuff like that. It was just fun. And I still like playing it to this day. I still have my paper with the little codes that I got out of Nintendo Power to...
Because, let me guess, you don't have the Nintendo Power anymore.
Nope, don't have the Nintendo Power anymore. Wish I did. But of course,
Funny how that works.
Of course, I've got a device that fits in my pocket that I can look all that stuff up easy, but...
Yeah.
It's nice seeing my 12, 13-year-old handwriting from back then.
I do have codes written down, but I have no idea for what games they go to or what they do.
I never really got into the World Series baseball franchise on like Sega Genesis. No, just didn't do much for me.
Well, and I never really had a Sega, so yeah.
I will say that every time I went to a like any flea markets or garage sales or pawn shops especially, because my dad way back was really big into going to pawn shops, and he'd take me along, and I don't know what he was looking for, but I always gravitated towards what was the games laying around, and there were always tons of Genesis games and Super Nintendo games, and of those games, half of them, if not 3/4 of them, would be baseball games or football games or basketball games.
I feel like I was gonna say, I kind of feel like that's even now. If you were to walk in a GameStop, like all the old sports games from last year.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean they lose their value so fast because once the new one comes out, it's who wants the old one.
Right.
But back then you couldn't transfer your data from year to year, so it was even more like
I've got to hold on to them.
Yeah, I mean they were a dime a dozen. So I remember seeing like all the Tony La Russa baseball games and the Tommy Lasorda baseball games, or even like if it was basketball, it'd be like Johnson versus Bird or things like that. And I just never gravitated, even though I love sports, especially baseball. Even then, I was more into platforming back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I never checked them out. But they were everywhere, even back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, EA had some decent ones. They started off with, it was called MLBPA for the Major League Baseball Players Association.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And that was on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. And I really loved the play style of that game and the mechanics. It had the real players. It didn't have the team names. It just had the city. So it wasn't like the St. Louis Cardinals. It was just St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the St. Louis Cardinal team. That one was fun. And then they went to, I think they called it Triple Play. And then they gave it the name MVP Baseball.
Yep, I remember all the names.
And now the only people making baseball games are Sony.
Pretty much, yeah.
And,
well, at least good like simulation type. There's some silly arcadey ones out there.
Yeah,
that's true. Super Mega Baseball,
right? Which it's fun, but
yeah, some of the newer RBI baseballs, which I'm pretty sure we'll all unanimously say are not good.
No.
Right. Yeah, I haven't had any good experiences with them, and they don't typically get good reviews.
Mm-mm.
I would argue the baseball game on the Nintendo Wii is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the one you talk about, the one on Wii Sports.
That's the one.
With the goofy looking figures.
Oh yeah.
The Mii's. Oh gosh.
I mean, I had some of the 2Ks. Like once it got to like original Xbox, then I started checking out some of the 2K ones. That was kind of around the time where the 2K versus the show kind of started really ramping up, and I was more of the 2K side because I didn't have an opportunity to have the show. And
right.
Didn't check out the show until I think 2012, I want to say. And, yeah, I didn't look back.
Yeah. I think the show originally started as just called MLB Baseball or whatever on PlayStation. Then they just changed the name, I think, to MLB The Show.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 2006 they started that?
Could have been. I know it's been a while.
Somewhere around there.
But yeah, I mean, there was baseball games, on every system. But I always liked All-Star Baseball from Acclaim on the Nintendo 64.
It's funny you mention that because for this, I started digging through my N64 carts just to see what I had in there because mostly I wanted to figure out what that Griffey game was because I'm positive I have it somewhere. Couldn't find it, but I did find a cart for All-Star Baseball 99 with Larry Walker on the cover. But then I also found one that I inherited from this guy I know that I didn't even know was in there. I had never heard of it. Bottom of the ninth. With Juan Gonzalez on the front.
Oh boy, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, me either. But I kind of want to go fire it up and see what it's like.
I stand corrected. The show actually started in 1997 on the original PlayStation as MLB 98.
Huh.
The show subtitle until 2006.
Okay. I mean, there was a lot of arcade-style games, like Slugfest, just some weird ones that also, I think, had Jeff Bagwell on the cover. I can't remember the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
But just kind of over-the-top games, which, I mean, that would also work for something if they took, like, I don't know if you guys have ever played one of the Mario baseball games on the GameCube or the Wii, how they take all the characters from like the Mario universe and put them in as a baseball game, which these games are actually pretty good. I think if they did something like that with 80s retro kind of cartoon characters, I think that would play pretty well too.
Super Smash style, but with baseball.
Yeah. Yeah,
like
I think
80s Saturday morning cartoon characters.
Yeah, I just think it'd be pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's better than Transformers versus He-Man?
Yeah. Or G.I. Joe and Thundercats and Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mean, I think we're on to something here. That's kind of genius.
I mean, Donatello always...
Free idea.
Yeah.
Please make it.
I mean, Donatello already has his bow, his wooden stick, so he's already got it back.
Yeah. And it could just be one of those silly arcadey type style things, and
Oh,
I'd
we're
play it a
definitely not
lot.
going to be serious about it.
Yeah. If I remember right.
I mean, like, just have two modes where it's just like play a game or like home run derby, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the home run derby, they could even have like randomized stats, so you don't always pick the person with XYZ stats that would be the winner every time.
Hmm.
That way your favorite character can win once in a while.
Yeah.
Because you know that He-Man's always going to beat Sergeant Slaughter.
Well, you would think so. You would expect that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I remember on the Mario baseball games, I think Donkey Kong just swung with his fist. He didn't have a bat. He just punched the ball. So.
Well, in Super Smash Bros. Melee, there is a home run derby that I do remember where you basically beat up kind of a beanbag looking thing.
Oh, yeah, like the big heavy bag.
Ness's bat to hit the home run and try to hit the furthest home run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never really played the 2K baseball series that you were referring to earlier. I mean, I played one game on the Sega Dreamcast that had Pedro Martinez on the cover.
Yeah, I don't know which one I know that I did, but at the same time, I mean, how many of them are really that different from each other?
Right.
But I mean, at the time, that's all I really had access to, so I'm like, this is the greatest thing there is.
Yeah.
How little I knew.
Right. Yeah. Back on the NES, LJN, they had Major League Baseball, which I think had the real teams, but not the real players. I think it just had their numbers. Roger Clemens Baseball, I didn't have any experience with that. Baseball Simulator 1000, never played that one. Tecmo Baseball I rented, and I was disappointed it wasn't as good as like Tecmo Bowl or even Tecmo Basketball. Little League Baseball Championship Series was pretty fun. I don't remember playing Dusty Diamonds All-Star Softball. Base Wars was baseball with robots. I never played that.
I remember seeing that like to rent, and I was always curious, but like I said, I was obsessed with platformers, so I never took the plunge.
Yeah. And then Legends of the Diamond, that was built, I believe, on the Baseball Stars engine, but used like real legendary Hall of Fame baseball players. I think I've tried that one on a ROM before, but I didn't spend much time with it. The PC actually had a bunch of games too. They had a lot more simulation style games like Baseball Mogul. Had Out of the Park. Backyard Baseball. I don't know if you guys ever heard of or seen those before.
Nope.
It's like kid versions of Major League players.
Can't say that I have.
It's kind of like Sandlot style baseball if you were to compare it to a movie, where each character would have their own funny little skill and stuff. It was fun. I remember my son playing that on a computer here at home years ago. The Hardball series was actually also on other platforms. I think I had one back on the Commodore 64. High Heat Baseball and Tony La Russa Baseball. But I mean, there's been a lot of baseball games over the years. Like I said, some were good and most were not so.
And it doesn't help that a lot of them, it's kind of just different year, same stuff.
Right. Yep. Just upgrade the roster and there you go.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder if they'll ever do just an annualized or whatever thing where maybe it's free to play, certain tiers, they'll give you certain things, and you pay basically a yearly thing to get the upgrade or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually get to, I'd say right now there's more between each year's release that's added than for most of those. Like here now, we're having entire new modes of playing that, like from year to year, it's almost like the leaps from year to year is greater now than they've really ever been.
Right.
Well, and this next year, this will be like the first time MLB's been on Xbox for quite some time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm so excited.
I know.
Oh man, can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, just the thought of having the show on Xbox or Nintendo Switch is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Well, and also in my case, I do Gold. I don't do PlayStation Plus. So me having a baseball game on Gold, oh my God, I'll actually be able to play against people.
Right. Yeah, it makes a big difference. Yeah, that's how I found out that my PlayStation Plus had expired, because I went to buy MLB The Show 20, and I was like, oh, it says that my Plus is expired. That's odd. So that's the reason why I get PlayStation Plus, which is funny though, because, I bought 19, and then at the end of the baseball season, they gave it away as one of their free games of the month in like October or November or whatever it was. So I'm like, oh, so now I've got the digital version.
Yep. Better sell it before it drops in price. Shucks.
Yeah, that already happened. Now, the other nice thing, too, about MLB The Show is that now, at least the newer versions, have that kind of retro mode, which I know we've kind of talked about just in, text message chat. It's actually pretty fun. I like how they did that. Just kind of simplifies the look and play of the game.
Yeah, because, 19 is the first one I've had since 16. 16 was my last one, and so I'm like, oh, I think I'm ready for a new one. And I just stumbled on that, and I'm like, this is simple, but this is really fun.
Yeah.
You can even change the graphics to make it look, it looks more 16-bit than anything, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like something you would play on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
What would be some of your guys' other favorite memories of, like, baseball, whether you're, things you did as a kid or things that you've experienced in your life?
Definitely going to any of the games during the summer, usually late night. Here in St. Louis, it's light out till at least 9 o'clock, and probably getting like a hot dog or something. Now I would get like a brat and a beer, but back then it'd be more of like a hot dog and a cola or root beer if they had it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how to narrow that down. As far as like going to games, like I love, like, and it may sound weird, but some of my favorite experiences in baseball games are like rain delays or extra innings or day games during the week. Like, it's just there's like a different feel to those than your normal ho-hum game kind of thing.
Yeah.
But probably my biggest memory is baseball cards, because when I was a kid, like I don't want to say a sizable collection, but I just kind of acquired them here and there, and I just kind of forgot about it. But I never got rid of the cards. And then about 2005, for some reason, I don't even know what drove me to this, but I kind of fell back into the card collecting thing, but I had a few more dollars in my pocket than I had when I was 10. So I was buying boxes of sealed packs, and I still have boxes of packs. In fact, I was just looking earlier, I found at least 3 boxes that are still sealed. From like 2005, 2006.
Wonderful.
For about 6-7 years in there, I was pretty hardcore into getting like your collectibles and your autographs and the patches and the rare cards, and it's obscene.
I did inherit like a kind of a collection of sorts of a bunch of baseball cards that I think my dad and my grandpa might have put together. So I don't remember exactly what was in what. That might be at one of their houses still.
God, please don't tell me it's out in the shed.
Hard to say.
'Cause that's not good for sports cards.
Yeah.
No, I was kind of the same way as you, Justin, only about 13 years before that, during the whole 1990, 91, 92, just wasting a lot of money on sports cards and baseball cards that just were not worth shit.
Yeah, that's kind of a dead period.
It is. That's when the bubble really burst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did find a box of, I think it's a Bowman box from 91. It's the complete series for the year. And I was so excited. I think I paid like $20 for it. And I was so excited. And I got it open and I checked it all out. And yep, it's the complete series. It's all of them. And then I was like, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sell this for so much. And I looked it up and I don't even think if I sold them individually, I could get my $20 back.
Right.
It's just I mean, that whole 80s, 90s, early 90s, just, ugh.
Yeah, there was only
even 70s, really.
Yeah, a couple cards were worth something, but man, the bottom just fell out of the pricing on all that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And now there's a whole bunch of those collectible things they make sure they put in, which, yeah, you can get quite a few dollars for a lot of these things. It's just, do you really want to spend the amount of money looking for them?
All right, because now it's a couple dollars a pack, whereas it used to just be like 50 cents to $1.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there were some of the boxes that I would get where there were smaller runs where it's not the entire, like all the players for the year. They might only have 100 players, but the artwork on them are so amazing. I found so Topps released this one called Turkey Red, and I guess 05, 06, I was really big into trying to get those, and basically the cards were like paintings of whatever the players, like they look like paintings, and then they had like this colored border around the outside, and depending on what color it is based off of how rare it was. So gray was regular, red was not quite as regular. Then you had white, which was a little more rare, but if you found a gold one, that was really, and I found and I don't know where it is, but I know I have a Stan Musial card with a white border, and the last time I looked, that was probably about a $20 card.
Yeah, but that would be nice.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to dig and try to find that again and see if it's still worth it. Unfortunately, this has probably rekindled my
addiction,
baseball card addiction.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, fortunately, I can't buy any right now, so that's probably a good thing, but it doesn't mean I can't dig through my basement and dig up all the ones that I had.
Right. Yeah, looking at some of these Turkey Red things just online, it's like, wow, these are some beautiful looking cards. Like,
oh, yeah. Another one was Allen and Ginter. That was a really neat looking. I think that one included like people from other sports. So you'd find like baseball, basketball, football, car racing, but it was mostly baseball.
Yeah.
But those also kind of look like painted and whatever. And yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, I also have Pujols rookie cards from like AAA and with the single A with the Peoria Chiefs. And yeah, I went pretty hardcore, and I went on a phase where I tried to collect all the Rick Ankiel cards for some reason too.
Well, yeah, it was before he was unable to just throw the ball to the catcher.
Oh no, it was way after that I was trying to get those.
Oh really?
Oh yes, I mean, like I was trying to get all those like in 2010.
Okay.
This was after he was an outfielder and hitting, and was no longer hitting.
Oh, dang! You really did get into it.
Oh yeah, but I was specifically only trying to get his pitching cards when he was number 66. Sad that I remember this.
Oh man. Yeah. Donruss studio cards. They were like black and white photos. That.
Oh, I remember those.
Those were beautiful. I also really like the Topps Stadium Club. They're more premium line, just because the photography and shots they were getting was so beautiful. I don't know. I always like score cards. Not like taking score of the game, but score the manufacturer. I always thought they had a nice looking clean card. But
I remember being a kid, I was just so not. I mean, whether it was Bowman or Fleer or the regular Donruss, I mean, some of them were just painfully 90s, and I was okay because it's better than not having them.
Right.
The only one I really didn't like was, I can't remember what year it was. It was in the late 80s, where Topps did like a wood grain finish as the border. I'm still not a big fan of that one.
Yeah. Let's talk about the wood grain finish. It reminds me of the 87 Topps set.
I think that was the one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I think the first complete set I got, my parents got me the 86 set, which was a very boring set, but I think I've still got it. I also like the Upper Deck cards. I didn't get any of the 89 series. I did some of the 90 and 91. But they were more expensive than most.
I always remember Topps, and this is just my memory of it, just I didn't really know anything, but it's probably because I had more Topps than anything. I just always looked at Topps as being kind of the run-of-the-mill boring ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always excited when I'd get like an Upper Deck, or, I mean, even Donruss or Fleer or some of those. I'm like, oh, I'm getting the better ones.
Right.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, I still remember getting a pack of 91 baseball cards and pulling that Michael Jordan White Sox card when he's was taking batting practice. Thinking, oh my gosh, that's probably like the best card I can recall ever pulling myself.
I know I have one of those somewhere and thinking the exact same thing. Like, this is going to be worth so much money.
Yeah, I was like, this is just the coolest thing. I mean, it was one of the only Michael Jordan cards I had.
Oh, it was the only one I had, that's for sure.
Like, unfortunately, it's a baseball card.
I will say, out of all the cards, baseball seems to be the one with either the highest value or the most success.
Right.
I don't know, because I used to talk whenever I would go in for that brief, whenever I was rabid for these things, I talked to the guy quite a bit, and I mean, he'd sell baseball, hockey, football, boxing, even car racing, but 90+% of his store was all baseball. And he said, honestly, I don't carry more because there's more money in baseball than the rest of them.
Right.
And I never really thought about it before, but not that I know a whole lot of people who collect cards in general, but my roommate was obsessed with basketball, so he had a lot of basketball cards. But outside of him, I didn't know anyone who collected any cards besides baseball.
Yeah, that's about, I mean, a couple of my friends that did mostly baseball, they had some football cards, but none of them were, basketball card collectors. Let's see. Now, did you guys ever play wiffle ball?
Yeah.
In college.
In college.
In college.
Wow. Okay. I didn't. Did you play on a team or?
No. There's probably a different version of wiffle ball than you guys are talking about.
See, I didn't realize there was a scholarship for that. No, I mean, that's how I would spend my summers with, friends that would come over throughout the summer, and neighborhood kids, we would just play wiffle ball and come up with like the real lineups of the real teams. And if they batted right-handed, we batted right-handed. If they were left-handed, we batted left-handed as best we could. And just, arms hurting. Although I don't remember them hurting as bad as they did when I'm, later in life trying to play wiffle ball for a couple hours and throwing that light plastic ball around. But just so much fun doing that.
I remember like being pretty young and playing in the backyard and thinking, man, I can really hit this ball. But like after a certain point, like the ball just kind of dropped.
Just didn't have that weight.
Nope.
No, it sure didn't. And pretty much anyone can be a knuckleball pitcher when you're throwing one of those things.
Oh gosh, yeah, the ball move all over the place.
Right.
You watch some of the videos on YouTube and stuff of wiffle ball pitchers, and I don't know how in the world they don't throw their arms out.
Right. It looks painful just watching.
Yeah. No, I would definitely miss getting a chance to go to baseball games. And, if I would go to a game, even kind of still today, I still stick with the hot dog and a soda. I just don't see the appeal of spending $9-10 on a beer usually at the game.
It's in my DNA.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. There's there's off chances that I sometimes will get one. But the people that go there and just get hammered, I'm like, I don't see how the hell you do it.
Whew. I will say if you're lucky enough to get those all-inclusive tickets,
that's different, yeah.
That's a totally different game because my God, you got the buffet and all you can drink beer, and you get like an extra inning of beer.
Right.
Oh, Merry Christmas to me.
Right, definitely. Let's see, did you guys all pretty much played like Little League or Corey League baseball, right?
Yeah, actually, I did play Corey League, and the one year we got second in nationals, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite years of playing baseball, just because it, extended so much longer than normal.
Yeah, and you're just winning all the time, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Winning always makes it more fun.
I was pretty damn good at hitting, pretty terrible at field.
And where was it that they put you out in the field?
Oh, way out in the outfield.
Okay. White side, outfield. Yeah, now I kind of look back thinking that's probably where I should have been playing.
I was always our leadoff hitter, had like our best record for hitting. I was one of the only ones they would let steal bases once we were allowed to.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, that was a good time.
Did any of you guys ever umpire?
I attempted. I did one game, and I'm like, this is not for me.
No. I knew it. Never materialized.
Okay. No. Why don't you think you liked it, Brad?
Oh, probably the same reason why I'm thriving so well right now in this current state that we're in, and I'm just not much of a people person.
Oh. Fewer eyes on you?
Yeah, the fewer eyes, the better.
Yeah. Whenever I only umpired for like one season for Corey League, and this was before I was driving, so I'm probably 14, 15, riding my bike to the ball fields to umpire. And I always preferred to be the field umpire. Granted, you made less. I think it was either 8 or 10 in the field, and then you'd get an extra couple dollars to work behind the plate. I always liked being the field umpire. Had less opportunity to really make terrible calls, because when you're home plate, you got to deal with balls and strikes.
Right.
And that's when you get all the attention on you.
Well, I know growing up, friend of the show, Jeff, he did lots of umpiring every summer.
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty good money to be made at it for kids that couldn't drive, or even once you did start driving, it was pretty good money.
Yeah.
Especially be around baseball if you love it that much.
Right.
Yeah, Justin, I see you got a few years of baseball fantasy in there, and yeah, kind of the same way. I did it for a few years as well.
Yeah, there was this one friend of mine from college who we got to know each other pretty well, and she was really big into baseball also. So it was baseball and music were like and movies. That was like our three things. And so whenever baseball season came around, I'm starting a baseball fantasy league. You should be in it. And I thought, well, I've never done fantasy. I'll give this a shot. Little did I know how much was involved in baseball fantasy. Football fantasy is fine. You look at it once a week, twice a week, most. Baseball fantasy, every single day you're looking at this thing. You're setting your lineups every single day, making sure you don't have injured people, trading people, checking people's stats, putting them in active, taking them out every single day. I got to know, the baseball cards really got me to kind of pay attention to people, but this really made me pay attention to who's good, who isn't good, who's hot, who's not. And then you find yourself in the weird situation where you go to a game and you want to cheer on your team, but the guy on the other team is on your fantasy team.
Right.
And you want him to do really good, but
right.
you want that team to lose. And
exactly. Unless he's a pitcher.
It's so frustrating.
Unless you got pitchers
really
on your
torn.
team. Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to be doing a fantasy league at work with a couple people, and then some of Bo, the guy who's running it's friends, and we haven't even had our draft yet because season hasn't started. So it'll be the first time in many years that I've done fantasy baseball.
Well, and we would always do like a live draft thing, and we just did it through like Yahoo Sports, and they do this live draft thing. And for a couple of years that I did it, I was like, yeah, I have this whole list of people that I want to get, and I have all this. And I realized very quickly in every single one of those, every person that I want to get, somebody else is going to get. So what's the point of me really being that diehard? So I let it auto draft for me for a few years, and I was more happy with the auto drafting than me drafting. Because by the end of the year, I'm probably not going to have most of those players anyways.
Exactly.
So just let the computer figure it out, and I'll figure it out later. And oddly enough, I was always in the top 2, 3, 4 players for the season, and one year I actually won it. And then for some reason, we never did baseball fantasy again.
Right.
We did football fantasy. And then the last year that I was invited to do that, I won it. And then the next year I wasn't invited, and we haven't done it since. And actually, honestly, I haven't heard from them since. So I'm assuming that if you're not one of them and you win, then you're kicked out?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't want the winners there, I guess.
I will say, though, that it was a huge time commitment that I was not expecting.
Yep. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that's going to work with everything some of us have going on with work and learning different things and stuff.
Because I know some people wouldn't pay attention, and they'd check it maybe once a week or something, and they'd have players that are injured, not playing, so they're not getting those stats, and other players that just are out for the season, and half their lineup is just not playing. And it's good for me because it's an easy week for me, but poor them.
Right. Yeah, we'll see how fantasy goes.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. I probably am going to need it.
Yes.
Some of the other favorite baseball moments or things that you guys can recall. Brad, I see you got a few things down on here as well.
Yeah, I mean, the first one is McGuire chasing 70. That that easily was. I noticed we went to a lot more games that year, so it was one of those that I got to go to more games because apparently my parents were just really into that chasing that record and getting that one picture of him actually hitting the homer.
Do you remember getting to see any? 'Cause, I mean, I know he hit quite a few of them at home.
Oh yeah, I definitely saw my fair share of him hitting on that record. But then beyond that, again, St. Louis being a baseball town, and well, we live closer to, well, I lived on the Illinois side, but we lived closer to Cardinals, so we were naturally Cardinals fans over Cubs, and as it should be. And 2006 and 2011 were pretty special because, before that I didn't really see the Cardinals win a World Series, so
yeah, gosh,
kind of getting to witness it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the last time they had been in there since before 2006 was in '87.
04. They were in 04, but they got swept by the Red
04.
Sox.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, prior to that, 87.
I forget that one because it was just a sweep and like, oh.
It's a rough
most
one.
people forget it.
Yeah. Yeah, 87, that's before you were even born.
That's right.
Bringing up McGuire, my favorite McGuire story was, I still remember one time going to see the Cardinals play against the Giants. I don't know why I remember this, but the Giants beat the Cardinals 17-1. And most people would have given up and left. Me, being the crazy person I am, I don't leave until the game is over, no matter what the score is. And that one run was a solo homer by Mark McGuire.
Wow.
I mean, by the end, we were kind of cheering for the Giants every time they scored because I figured, why not? But at least one run was McGuire, so that's fine.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think I prefer to watch a pitching duel than
for sure.
Than I do.
I also agree.
Just because you never, I mean, it's more stress inducing because you don't know, oh my God, what's going to happen. And, any mistake could cost the entire game. Just one little mistake. So.
Oh yeah, I find them way more exciting than hitter fests. Yeah, I will say, unless it's like 20-21, those can be fine, but those almost never happen.
Right.
Or you've got a Game 6 situation.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something about that game it's just unreal.
I have the DVD series for 06 World Series and the 11 World Series. So about once a year, I'll put in Game 6 in 2011 just to watch the game again. And even though I know it happens, it's still just like I'm on the edge of the couch and I can't handle it.
Yep.
I'll have to hit you up for that because I still to this day haven't seen Game 6 because I was actually at work while it was happening.
Oh, I can even tell you where. Oh, I know where it was. Sarah and I actually went out to eat that night, and we were watching the game, and it was just kind of like, this game's over. This is terrible. So then I took her home, and then as I'm going home, I'm listening to on the radio, and then I'm hearing like, oh, wait, maybe it's not quite so crazy. So I go home just in time to see the crazy finish of it, and I'm just, oh, my God. Game 7, I had no heat in the house, so here I am watching them win the World Series, and I'm freezing with a space heater and a blanket.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't remember going to any games for in '98. I don't know why. I just ended up not going to see any.
That was definitely the year that they really... Because, I mean, let's be honest, baseball there after the 94 strike was kind of trouble. So, I mean, that was definitely what brought the fans back in.
Definitely.
I don't think St. Louis really ever... I mean, that's kind of what brought us back to, hey, we're going to have crazy filled stadiums, and I don't think they've really turned back from that since.
No, they've been pretty much 3 million attendance in St. Louis since then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some teams.
It also helps that they've had some really good years in there too.
Yeah, I mean, teams like the Marlins and just other franchises that just have a tough time drawing fans because they've just been stuck with bad ownership, making poor decisions. It's tough.
Oh, sure. And I mean, let's be honest, having two teams in Florida kind of splits the fan base a little too much.
Yeah.
Because neither one really draws a whole lot. Even, I mean, the Rays have had some pretty decent teams in the last 10 years, but even some of those years, they just can't really draw a whole lot.
Right. Some of my favorite memories of, or most memorable things of going to games growing up, and it always seemed like my dad would get tickets, and I don't know if he would get them through people at work or what the deal was, but he would always take us to go see the Phillies. I don't know why. I always got to see the Phillies. It's like, oh boy, yay, there's Von Hayes. I mean, it was nice getting to see Mike Schmidt, I guess, now looking back, but it seemed to always be tickets against the Phillies, and I guess it's just the tickets were cheaper against them. I don't know.
Well, that's my theory, because I know that there's a few teams that for some reason when they come to town, there's a few teams that are always, like the Reds were always really cheap.
Mm-hmm.
The Phillies were really cheap, but then you'd play against someone like, I mean, obviously the Cubs, that's going to be ridiculously high.
Right.
But I remember at least for some years in there, yeah, Phillies were pretty cheap tickets to get.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I have a memory of this, but Lou Brock was one of my favorite players when I was really, really young. And I don't know, I guess just because he could run fast. And I know, yes, I was only about 3.5 years old, but I believe I was at the game when he got his 3,000th hit. And that was against the Cubs, actually. I just remember the crowd going completely nuts for a long amount of time, and he was playing. And as far as I know, he did something good, because it was towards the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like one of the first memories of anything I can really remember. And yeah, again, I'm just presuming that's what it was, because it's the only thing I could think of the crowd really going nuts for in 1979. There was nothing else to cheer about.
No.
So, and also getting to see Moises Alou, and when he was still with the Montreal Expos. We were sitting out in right field, and he had hit a ball that he thought about stretching into a double, but he ended up, making a sudden stop. And this was back when we still had the AstroTurf, and his cleats caught, and it broke his ankle or his leg, and you could actually hear him screaming. And Greg Jeffries was our first baseman at the time, and he just had to gingerly walk over to him and tag him out.
Ugh.
I was like, oh, it was ugly. It was an ugly scene. One of my favorite memories, though, is getting to see Will Clark, who was always one of my favorite players, even when he was with the Giants, after he got traded here in 2000 because Mark McGwire got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And getting to see him in our Cardinal uniform, and then seeing him in person getting to hit a home run. We were sitting on the first base side, not on the lowest level, but kind of on the mid level, and it was just so nice. It was like, oh my gosh, this really happened.
Huh.
And then getting a chance to go to the 2009 All-Star Game festivities when it was here in St. Louis.
I am so jealous.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that was, 11 years now.
I've been to a few division series games, but probably the best because I've been to a lot of really cool, fun games, and I have some really great memories coming back in the ninth or winning in extras or seeing some player. Like I got to see. I went to one of the games in June of last year when the Angels came back and Pujols got to bat and got to see him hit a home run. So I mean that was kind of cool.
Right.
But probably the one game, if I could go back and be like, wow, like that's as close to going to a World Series as I'm probably ever going to get. I actually got to go see 2013 NLCS. I guess it was Game 6 where they beat the Dodgers, and then of course they're advancing to the World Series then. So I got to see them jumping on the field and bringing out the podium and speaking to the crowd, and I was like, oh, I mean, going to an NLCS game to me was like, this is as good as it's going to get. But watching a game where they actually won to clinch, like, oh.
Yeah, I've
Good
never been
times.
to a postseason game.
It's a very different atmosphere. It's like when you go during the season, there's a lot of people that are, I swear, are just going for social hour and just hanging out with their friends and oh, there's a game going on. What? But in a postseason game, it's like every person is like focused on every single pitch, and it's every little thing everybody is watching. So when the crowd erupts all at the same time and everybody's paying attention, it's a completely wild atmosphere that I highly recommend everyone get to check out if you can.
Also, that's probably one of the best sounds in existence is when that crowd goes wild for your team.
Right.
And they just won that big whatever, and you're actually in the thick of it. Oh, man, that's,
yeah.
to your point, incredible.
Yeah. I mean, we had seats where our backs were like to a wall. I can't remember what section we were in. If I dig deep, I still have the ticket somewhere because I also save all my tickets for everything I go to. But we had our backs to like a concrete wall, and so there was nobody behind us. So I don't think we sat the entire game. Totally worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind, you get a ticket in the upper level or something and just kind of like wander around throughout the game and check out the game from different perspectives, different areas of the stadium.
I was kind of notorious for that, where it's like I'm just going to get a cheap ticket just to get in and just kind of hang around. But now they have that deal where you can like get the pass, where it's like every month you get a certain charge, and then you can go to every home game. It's standing room.
Yeah, I think it's $30 a month.
Yeah, which is great now because now they have that whole area up towards right field where it's just open seating, and they have like a couple of bars, and you just hang out up there, and it's a very fun atmosphere in that area too.
Yeah, that's how I saw the All-Star game was standing room. We didn't have tickets for that. Just me and a friend ended up going in that. It was fun.
Well, even though you didn't know me then, I'm still upset you didn't ask me.
Yeah, I know. That's how it goes.
It is what it is.
It is. Is there anything else baseball-wise you can think of?
Oh, yes, but we'll be here all night, so probably not a good idea.
Well, can you kind of give us like some Cliff Note versions, like some just teasers?
Oh, it's just a lot of either useless stats or just these crazy memories of extra innings or late innings or weird little, like getting to go to, whenever I went to Memphis to see the AAA team, we went 2 nights, got to go to 2 games, and Ankiel was playing in Memphis at that time and got to see him hit a home run in each of the games.
Oh, nice.
It was fun.
Yeah, I've only been by the Memphis Redbirds Stadium. I haven't been to watch a game there.
It's a nice little stadium.
Yeah, the only other stadium I think I've seen a Major League Baseball game in was at the Royals Stadium.
Oh, Kauffman.
Yep. Butch Kaufman's nice.
I know I went to Dodger Stadium once, but I was like 8, and I don't really remember it.
I did also get to see the last regular season game at Busch Stadium 2.
You know, now that you mention it, I remember being there really late in the season. I don't remember if it was the last game of the season or not, but it was so late in the season that they had everything built up that they could build up of the new stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember standing out there and looking at it, being like, "Wow,
I know.
Next year this is going to be like totally different."
Yeah, it was kind of a weird feeling. I ended up taking my dad to that game. And it was a pretty neat little memory. I think they were playing the Reds.
Oh, okay. So I do have one memory that I will share that it's ridiculous and embarrassing, but I find it amusing. So I had this friend, let's say, we were somewhat more than friends there for a little while, and we were both big baseball fans, so we'd go whenever we could. We'd watch it on TV whenever we could. And, well, after things sort of ended, we stayed friends, but looking into personal life, I wasn't quite ready for it to be moved on, and she knew that, but she wanted to stay friends, so fine. And somehow one of us got tickets to go to a game, so we ended up going to a game, and her favorite player was Scott Rowland, and
good choice.
Oh yes, and he was up to bat, and he hits a foul ball in, I forgot what section we were in. It was like 237 or something. So it was a little up, but it wasn't too far up, and he hit a foul ball in the next section over from us, and she jokingly said, "Oh, he just did that because he's just next pitch it's going to come to me." And, yeah, sure it is. Yeah, I bet. Not even kidding. The next pitch hits this pop fly into foul territory, and I look up at it and I think that ball is not moving, but it is getting bigger. And that's when it occurs to me, it literally is hitting right for us. And she's holding like a camera in one hand and a beer in the other hand, and she kind of looks up at it and looks down and then just kind of ducks to the side. And I stick my hand up, and no joke, it is heading right for her. And so I stick my hand up to catch it, and the guy in front of me puts his hand up, and it hits my hand right at the moment that the ball lands in my hand, which pops it right back up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But it pops it forward, lands in this lady's lap who wasn't paying attention to the game at all, had no idea what was going on, and she just picks it up and looks and goes, "Oh, look at that, I got a ball," and then sticks it in her purse and continues her conversation. That's the closest I've ever been to a foul ball, actually touching it. But it was her favorite player that I could have gotten the ball for her. And she's told me this later, that she did this just as a joke to kind of rub it in, because this is the kind of friendship I guess we had. She said later, "I'm not even going to tell you what I would have done had you caught that ball and given it to me." And I said, wait, what? And she said, "I'm just not even going to tell you." And I'm, "You can elaborate, and I'll go beat up that lady and get the ball for you."
Right.
And so for years, like we still kind of lightly keep in contact. I mean, that was 2006. So I mean, we lightly kind of keep in contact maybe a couple times a year, but every once in a while that'll still come up, like, "Oh, do you remember that one time?" Or like, "Hey, I told this story." That's whatever. So whenever I talk baseball, I have to at least mention the one time that I had my one friend that I was trying to get back with, who was obsessed with the ball, who I could have gotten the ball for, and she still rubs it in my face 14 years later that I didn't get her favorite player's ball.
Wow. That's a rough
good
one.
times.
Yeah.
Don't think I've heard that story.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's a fun one from the past.
That is funny. Just another thing too that just popped into my head was Stratomatic it was a kind of, not really a board game, but it was, and it wasn't a baseball card game, but you use these cards with these stats and these different columns and stuff. It's a very simulation style game, of course. If you've never heard of Stratomatic, definitely look that up. It's very fun. I think I had the 1991 or 1992 set that my aunt got me for Christmas. And it was probably one of my favorite gifts she's ever given me. It was great. I had so much fun with that. And also starting lineup figures.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah. So I used to collect some of those, not a whole lot, but I miss starting lineup figures. And I know that they've kind of brought some back on like special releases that, with baseball teams and stuff. They'll have like a giveaway day where they give a specific player away. But, yeah, those were some of the other childhood memories of baseball stuff that I can think of.
Boy, I forgot all about those.
Yep, those were neat little things. I remember going to Venture department stores here in St. Louis and just seeing, shelves upon shelves of them, just all of them just hanging there on their little hooks.
Yep. I think I had like one or two, but I love just like staring at them because, there'd be like 100 of them.
Yep. It's like, look at all these players.
I didn't know who most of them were, but I'm like, look at the poses.
Right. Yeah. It was pretty neat stuff. I think that's about all for me in baseball right now. Just makes me wish we were able to watch some right now.
Well, I will say for anyone who's starving for it, the MLB is, NHL's doing it too, and I think the NBA was also doing it, where they're doing virtual simulations against the teams that should be on the schedule in MLB The Show.
Yeah.
And broadcasting them on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good thing to
do.
do.
It's better than nothing. But...
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a great way to simulate stuff. 'Cause, I mean, these games are so real. If you fire up a game on your Xbox or your PlayStation and just even put it in just simulation mode where you're just watching it, it looks just like you're watching a real sporting event. It's just that beautiful in the presentation, and it's great.
I mean, I won't lie. I've done it more than a few times myself.
Yep. Just put it on in the background, and people that come over that aren't really familiar with video games and stuff thinking, well, what are you watching? Video game?
I actually had that happen because whenever my roommate was still living here, I was playing one of the shows. I think it was either 12 or 14, a few years ago. He comes in and he goes, "How are you watching the baseball game in here?" And I said, "What?" And he said, "I didn't think you had a way to watch the game in here." And I said, I don't. He said, "Well, then what are you watching?" I said, I'm playing the show. And he goes, "That's a video game?" I was like, "Yeah."
That's funny.
And I will also say, if you have Fox Sports Midwest, they're replaying the 2011 run from the end of the season most nights.
Yeah.
And when they're not playing that, they're playing Blues replay of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I'm sure most regional sports networks around the country are probably doing something similar. There's a lot of good stuff on ESPN right now, I believe. Yeah, there's a lot of different things to occupy your time with while we're all quarantined.
Yep. Doing what we can.
Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for everybody. Anything else, guys?
I don't think so.
All right.
It's safer if I stop now.
Yeah.
We'll be here all night.
Yeah. Well, next month we're going to have a topic that Brad's going to be able to talk more on. I know he's been a little quiet this time, and it's not the same not getting to hear Brad's lovely voice, so...
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, we'll get him something to talk about next time. But until then, make sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for Back to the Past Podcast, and you'll find all that good stuff. And yeah, appreciate you guys listening to us go on for a few hours. And hopefully the audio all turned out good. And I'll be checking that out here whenever I go through the editing process. and add a few clips in. So, and I know Justin would like to keep us for another 4 or 5 hours, but some of us have to go to bed.
Indeed.
That's overrated.
Also, yes.
Yeah, that's what they say. All right, guys. It's been fun, and guess we will talk to you next time when we get back from the past.
How about that?
Delta Airlines just turned 100 and is already shaping the next century of flight with the Delta Sustainable Skies Lab. Here, they're building the future of flight. Think electric air taxis and next-gen aircraft aiming to cut fuel burn significantly. And this isn't just future talk. Today, their fleet of Boeing 737s have marine-like finlets designed to reshape airflow that reduces drag. The future of travel is more sustainable, and Delta's leading the way. Learn more at delta.com/sustainability.